Welcome to the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode 211. Wow. It's always wow every time I bring it in now.
I know.
Something about that 200 number seems just,
Well,
you know what I mean?
and I checked. I mean, I know that Brandon came back for episode 199, but it's been like 40 episodes then without him. And that's what's shocking.
Wow.
I can't
40,
believe that.
huh?
It's more than 40 now, but I mean, the fact that he came back for that one episode. And he keeps
Wow.
teasing that he will come back, but it just never seems to have worked out. And admittedly,
You
we
never
didn't
know.
like this weekend was crazy. So it wasn't something that we reached out to. I think he prefers to keep it a no movie type situation.
Yep.
And or the year end show.
All movies or no movies.
Yeah,
He's got to do it all at once.
Them's the options.
Yeah, all or nothing. He's an all or nothing kind of guy. Well, it doesn't have to be nothing, all just BS. But yeah, it has been it's 40 episodes. Man, here we are. You never know what he's gonna do. You never know. He's I'm messed up. Yeah, who knows? He's messed up. I'm messed up. Freaking this podcast, this podcast at this point is messed up. But for some reason, people are still listening.
You mean I'm the one driving everybody crazy?
No. How could you? If I'm messed up, no. You're the what do you call it? You're the glue. You're the glue. At this point, I'm just showing up for the show.
I'm the. It's just like okay, crack.
Right, dude. That's it.
I didn't retire the chair. Should we officially retire this chair on the air? On the air.
What do you?
I get so pompous on because. Remember, it said I've got the other chair ready to go, but I haven't actually. So here's the chair. Here's the. See, that's the chair.
Wow.
Wants to smell the seat.
Yeah. There's farts in it. There's fucking.
It's like coming
there.
Off there. It's coming off there. Like this chair, it needs to go. But I mean, it's my dad's. Like I said last show.
Oh well, I get that. Yeah. So wait a minute. When you retire, it's going to go in the bedroom? Yeah. So can we follow you up to the bedroom?
I figured, no. I'm kidding. It's going to go in the garbage. And I guess I'll just stand for the rest of the.
For a second there.
How's it going, everybody?
So are you doing it live on the show or not?
Yeah,
I was going to do a Facebook or a YouTube live. Could that truly be live? But I guess we can't be that pompous. Nobody cares that much.
No. It's not. It's not dog walking here. This is just me getting rid of my chair. I figure we might as well do it here. But I got the downfall is the other chair's a little far out of my range with my headphones. So bear with me 1 second.
So I'm gonna go off and I'll have to talk. There was something I wanted to say. By the way, I'm Dave Z, and that guy there is Christian. So. In case you're tuning in for the first time, because we always forget. We're so used to. Eventually, this will come out in the air, and who knows? Maybe we get more patrons that don't know much about us.
It's too low.
Heard jumped in. What'd you say, baby?
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, I popped that right up. At first, I thought this is not going to work. Now I've got to adjust everything, though. Hold on, mic bumps. Here we go.
Look at that. I switched couches, and you switched chairs. How about that?
Oh, you know what though? This doesn't have arm fuckers. I'm not gonna lie. Boy. I might have to bring back old Rusty.
Yes. Oh, you haven't sat in that chair to try to get the feel? You just bought it?
Well, no, we bought this a long time ago, and it's been used it was in my daughter's room as a computer chair. And so it has a good use. And I do have a new office upstairs that I could possibly record in. But the downfall is I like my setup here, and
I like it today.
I even fixed it up a little bit more. So I got a new.
It's nice.
It looks.
Wow, you look like you should be on a show now, like a YouTube show.
There we go.
It looks nice that way. Yeah. See, I can't ever have a successful YouTube show because I have shit backgrounds.
What are you talking about? You got the whole video store. You've got the background that everybody wants.
Yeah, but I can't record in front of it. You know what I mean? Where's the video store? Down there.
Just get one of these ship reader chairs and you roll yourself right up to it.
And then this table though, This mic doesn't exist without this table. That's the kind of dire straits I'm in. If I
dire straits.
you know what I mean?
I love how it's extremes. You know,
well, think about it.
again, like usual, we get into everything. I switched the chair up. Who knows what's going to happen with that? I got a vibe to it, and it's silent. I'm moving around because I'd like to move, as you probably well know. And so far, so good. Right before we started the show, Warren Money texted me. Now he actually texted me. He texted me when. So not we already recorded the last show. It was either that day or while we were recording, to say that he hasn't married yet. He is getting married.
Nice.
It's going to be in the fall. We were invited to the wedding. You, Brandon, and I, but it's in Australia.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was the falls, like Niagara Falls for a second.
No.
Falls.
Australia in the fall. And we can't get Darren. We can't get Brandon to cross the border. So there's no way he's coming. And I told him, I said, hey, even if you're half joking, which I don't even know if he was really, I just said, I can't make it because it's just crazy. Now I've got my oldest in school, my second going to university. I'm like, financially, I mean, that's what I'm doing.
Dude.
Yeah.
Getting me to leave the house at this point, unless you're paying me to do it, is impossible. For anybody. I'm not going nowhere. Congratulations, though. If you were coming to the falls,
Friday the 13th in October, in a cinema.
What?
Yeah, in a cinema. That's cool, eh?
Hardcore. I love that. Well, if they're in a cinema, I wonder if at any point are they going to play a Friday the 13th in that cinema? Imagine that. It's playing in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be something. There should be a wedding in a Friday the 13th movie, just so fans can freaking do their wedding as that one's playing. It'll turn it into it's like the evolution of Friday the 13th. Turn it into like a Rocky Horror thing. You may as well at this point. He's been to space. He's been a freaking worm. You know, it's whatever.
He's been a worm. He's been
man,
a demon baby.
Whatever it was, a worm too. He's been all kinds of things. You know, it's not the same. So you may as well just take it on that direction. Have a wedding. I mean, he's not in it. He disrupts it or something.
He also said that your dad being asked out by Mr. Rogers was one of the funniest things ever.
Oh, you've only freaking, that's the tip of the iceberg of stories about my dad. Wow, that's funny. Yeah.
That literally happened. That text came right before we hit record on the show, pretty much.
I almost want to play the message. I can't believe the story he told about this woman that was calling him. I wonder, it's pretty vulgar though. It's funny that he slipped up when he got vulgar a little bit in front of my granddaughter, in front of my daughter, which he never does. And he said in the thing, he said, I'll cut your tits off, he said.
Cut your tits off.
I wonder if I can find that video. Oh man, I tell you.
That's pretty extreme. Like, I'll punch you in the gut.
I hear you.
I'll kick your teeth in. I'll cut your tits off.
It happened to call for it that day. Let me see if I have it here. I wonder. That particular story, it had it coming. Damn it, I wish I could find it. No, I don't know. It's been a minute. I made a 3-minute video of me trying to open up a Totino's Party Pizza, and I cannot do it. And I was going to start a YouTube channel. Well, I was going to put this on the YouTube. Matter of fact, listen to the beginning of this. I recorded this May 24th and never did anything with it. Please tell me you can hear us. Hold on. I'm doing it. Every time I have this issue, I say, I'm going to start making videos and see if I'm not crazy. Because this just keeps happening. Let me put some lights on there. Every time I get something, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm nuts. But every time I get something, and there's a tear here, right? Tear here. See, look. Here. See, you guys see what this is. I'll do more. Seriously. Because I don't know. What am I supposed to do here? I wonder if I can. No, I can't do it then. I'm going to try to tear it here. I need to hold this sucker up. Bottom line, it's a 3-minute video. Bottom line is not just that, but other things that I have. Okay. Other things that I'm supposed to be opening that I get from a store sometimes, it says tear here. And I cannot, I try every angle. I take a freaking scientific approach. I take a mathematical approach. I take just a brute force approach. I got everything I can think of. Try to open this thing without having to cut it with scissors, and I cannot get certain things open. The Totino's pizza is one of them. And I wanted to see, I can't be me. Maybe I should have Irene try. I don't think she could anyway. If I can't, how could she?
Anyway, call her and tell her to do it. I bet she opens it
live on the air.
It's 10 seconds.
Next week, live on the air.
Live on the
air. I'll have her down here. I'll say, listen, this is a test. Open this Totino's pizza here. See if you can do it. Anyway, how'd I get started on that? Oh, the story with my old man. Well, this woman kept calling him and it's a good story. To hear from him is better. I just thought that I may have had it here.
Oh, this is not the Mr. Rogers one. This is something different.
I do have the Mr. Rogers. I got to look for that.
He's told that story. Swear. Okay, I thought you were talking about that. He thought he was going to cut Mr. Rogers' tits off.
Oh wait, listen, no.
He calls the pizzeria. He is next. Can you give me his phone number? She started calling me up.
Hold on.
Yeah. What do you?
Let me give you the backstory. So
please.
Okay, my brother used to have the pizzeria where he worked at, and one time, a woman came into the pizzeria. She was a local. She needed directions. So my father just so happened to be there. And this is the woman that happened to be like around his age at the time, whatever. And he was just giving her directions. And then he was actually getting ready to leave. So he basically volunteered. He goes, listen, I'm going in that direction anyway. I'll help you, follow me there. And then when I get there, I'll turn and then I'll tell you where to go. So he helped the woman out. So now, a few days later, somebody calls the pizzeria. This woman does, not somebody. The woman that he helped calls the pizzeria and asks for his phone number. And he gets it. All right. And she gets his phone number. So then she calls him and says, I'd like to take you out for dinner. Okay. So now here's the concept. Calls the pizzeria.
She is next. Can you give me his phone number? She started calling me up. Yeah. What do you want? Why don't you take me out? I'll take you out of it. Listen, not interested. Please don't call no more. She kept on calling. One time she called me 3 o'clock in the morning. So that was the end. I called her more names than you can shake a stick at. If I ever see you, I'm gonna knock you out.
Didn't she say something to you like
You're not all that.
She like insulted you? She goes, who do you think you are?
Yeah, who do you think you are? I didn't want to go out.
You're not all that.
You're not all that. That's what I don't care. Please stop calling me.
I don't get it.
Then the last time she called me, 3 o'clock in the morning, I told her a few things that I don't want to mention in front of you. Well, I said, you will call me again, I'm going to cut your tits off. How's that? Wait a minute. I'll cut your tits off. All right? No, she told me to tell. I don't want to say it. Said, you can tell me I'm an adult. Okay, I'll tell you.
I got. You think those tits have a tear here, or is he going to go get the scissors right away?
Wow, what a great tie-in! Beautiful. So yeah, that's the story. He kept. There was a shortened version. The longer version is she called him about 4 or 5 times, and he kept declining politely, and it just got to the. And then finally, she called at 3 in the morning. She probably got drunk or something, you know. And she goes, "Oh, you don't want to go out with me?" She goes, "You think you're all that or something like that?" And she started getting lippy with him. So then he was like, "You motherfucker," you know what I mean? He was patient for a while, and then she finally pushed him to that. And he said that to her on the phone.
A bridge too far.
A bridge too far.
I don't know why. Hey, you know, I brought these up last show, but I figured, hey, why not? Why not as a gimmick? Since we're at a perfect 211, every week we're gonna showcase one of these Fright Flux cards.
Oh, nice.
In order.
Okay.
So for the visual
what
treat,
is that, Freddie?
That's Freddie. Fright Flix, 101 cards. So we're gonna be doing this for a while. And
Nice.
there's on the back, it's did it ever happen? It's a little question. And this card says now playing card number 1, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. The meteor of October 20th, 19 this has nothing to do with the movie. This is
Oh,
just a
for a second. Oh,
did it happen? Yeah,
oh,
meteor
wait.
shit was what caused Freddy and the Dream Demons. The meteor of October 20, 1956 hadn't seemed odd to the people of Shadyville, Maine, but 3 days later, a green fungus began to cover everything in town. After 3 weeks, it was necessary to burn the town down to halt the spreading menace.
Wow. So that's a continuation of Creepshow.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
They call it the what? The spreading menace.
Spreading menace.
Oh, menace. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That just might be my enunciation, but
I don't know.
yeah.
I thought it was like a plant, like a menace. It sounds like a name for a plant, kind of, doesn't it?
So I guess it's
A
like a
menace.
Ripley's Believe It or Not. Do you believe that happened, or was it all fictional?
Well, it's all, of course, it's
Yeah,
fictional.
it's Creepshow. I mean, or at least it sounds. Was it
Maybe
Shadyville
it's
though?
not.
Was Shadyville the name of
Shadyville.
the? Yeah, I didn't think that was.
I
the name
don't
of-
know. I thought it was Castle Rock. But I could be wrong, and I should know, Mr. Creepshow over here, and they show the animation at the end.
Yeah.
It's a crossroad. This is Castle Rock and someplace else. It might be Shady Hill. I don't know. But I think of Shady. I think of freaking Shady Pines from the Golden Girls.
Shadyville. I'm gonna put Shadyville Meteor and see what pops up.
Shadyville Meteor. Yeah.
Well, that was
That
it.
card's gonna pop up. Imagine that, the back of that card.
That's it. That's what pops up.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. One picture, and it's the back of that card. It says that on it. That'd be cool if there is a pic of that online. Well, there you
No-
go. See,
Nothing
That's like-
fucking pops up.
well, there you go. I don't know. Maybe they made it all up. So it's fictional twice. It's fictional because the original story was fictional, and it's fictional because they just put their own spin on it. They just put anything on there. They could have said flying monkeys came out of it in the next state or something. You know, that would have been something, huh? A plant that turns into flying monkeys.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's did it ever happen? It is that card. It popped up, and it's literally a picture of the back of the card.
That's great.
And fucking
This is
first
better
thing
than
from Tumblr.
What a way to kick off the new segment. It's better than Fangoria.
That's the name of
Alrighty.
the segment. Better than
Yeah.
Fango.
Yeah, that could be it. You should do one, and I should do a Fango, or at least a page out of a
Yeah.
Fango. Maybe that's how to really crack Fango. Just do one segment at a time, not the whole magazine. You know what I mean? Shorten it. It's like a 10-minute in and out.
Bing bam boom.
Anyway, we'll do it again. I look it up. It's episode. I cannot stop saying that. Remember, I used to always talk about the Fango and call issue something. I say episode.
Yeah, it's awesome. I also started doing some new promos. I figured, why not? We were talking about how the Friday the 13th episodes. So I picked like, I don't know, 10, 12 episodes that stood out from our catalog, quote unquote.
The back
So
catalog.
fucking
Don't forget
back.
that. Back.
That's what it is, really. And
Yeah.
of course, the Friday the 13th ones pop out. But within the Friday the 13th ones, I wanted to might as well do one for each movie. So I'm just taking a segment, editing it down, and I'm even making it vertical. So it's already, it's not just like so the first one I started with was A New Beginning. And I took the scene of,
Wow.
you're out of your mind. You've been under the sun too long. You're out of your fucking mind. You've been out in the sun too long.
Oh,
Jason
us talking
Voorhees is
about it?
dead. No, not us talking about it. Just from the movie. I'm
Okay.
going to take a clip from the movie, each movie, but above it is going to talk about, like, it's going to show our logo and have a little bit of information, and then it will say streaming, like 15-hour podcast streaming on Apple
Wow.
Podcasts or whatever. That's the gist. I just started
That's
editing it
huge. That'd be
last night.
huge.
I was bored.
Wow.
My wife, it's been a weird week and change. 2 people we know have passed away. I don't know if I mentioned this on the show. My buddy's
Oh,
because I think
buddy. Fuck.
my buddy's dad, no, not my buddy's dad, but still, passed away, 76. And then my wife's Uncle Lauren, passed away. About the same age. So
Man.
79, I think he was. But yeah, so she zoomed up to for the funeral. The only reason I didn't go is because it was also my daughter's birthday, and she had
Right.
she was out in the falls, and that's the whole reason I had to shift recording, because I had it's been a lot of shuffling back and forth and
Yeah.
craziness, and we didn't want to cancel it on her because there's no refunds on anything, and she had her friends going and whatever. So then we're like, oh shit. So we're just kind of caught in the middle. So she's representing the family up in Gravenhurst right now.
Well, I don't have to go anywhere. But how weird is this that you had? I remember I had a death I spoke about last show. My friend's father passed away, and that whole thing. And so who I've known forever, and
I vaguely did you bring it up on the show? No, why would I would have remembered that, but
how could I not have? I don't know. I thought I would have. Well, yeah, my friend's father passed away, and I've known him forever. He'd been sick for a very long time, so I had to go do that. And then now, just this past Monday, the day after we recorded last, I talk about my friend Scott, right?
Yeah.
He's always over on Friday nights. Okay, I've known him since junior high school and before. Okay. There's another person that he knows from junior high school, and so do I, but actually he knows him before junior high. Anyway, Scott's a mechanic. He works at the garage. And at the garage, the other employee there is this guy. He's a kid our age. He's a friend, a great friend of his, one of his best friends, because he sees him every day at work. You know what I mean? So anyway, he's the same age as us. Actually, he's only 49. He's only 49, and for Monday night he passed away.
Oh,
so yeah,
wow.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, yep. He freaking.
So you've had a couple of deaths too.
A lot.
Crazy. I mean, it's coming. As my mom says, she's up. She goes, well, we're at the age now, we're going to be hearing this a lot more. Everybody's sick around her and this, that, and the other thing. But I'm like, it's still shocking to hear, because there's not extent. 76 is not old.
Right. Not by today. My father's 85,
Yeah.
My uncle's 90, my aunt's 91 or so. I don't even know how old. I got old folks. Some have been lost along the way, but I still have a lot of old folks around. So it's even crazier when this keeps happening. People my age keep dying. I keep hearing about it lately. It's like we live longer usually. How come people from our generation are freaking dropping at 49 years old? I mean, I know why. He drank a lot, but still, you didn't used to hear this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There was things, and it's happened a lot. And yes, there's COVID and everything, but it's weird. And it's the same thing with the rock and rollers. Like a lot of the musicians and the people that were big in the 80s and 90s, if you look at them, they're dead or crazy. There's a lot of wacko stuff that have happened. High profile people too, like Top of the Pops. By the way, they were talking about Top of the Pops yesterday because I watched the Wham documentary and how they were in Top of the Pops was the biggest show in there. He goes, you didn't get big until you were on Top of the Pops. So then you guys never heard of it.
I was going to watch that documentary actually, but we, because it was my daughter's official birthday on the Thursday, came out on Wednesday officially on Netflix, I think. But we haven't gotten to it yet. Just like I said, kind of a crazy week.
Of course it is. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a crazy week for us too. For sure. 4th of July was great though. Fireworks, all that stuff. But anyway, people don't want to hear about my fireworks. There was something I was going to tell you. I took a note. Oh, yeah. How funny is this? Talking about like physical media. I saw somebody posting on Twitter today that they got the Hellraiser, pardon me, that they got the Creepshow 3 Blu-ray from Shelf Factory.
Oh, for fuck me.
I know, and the people are weighing in. A lot of people are blasting it, but some are defending it and saying they also bought it. And I'm like, yeah, here we go again. And now
Same
There's
people that are going to buy
something.
Terror 10 Killer and fucking
That's what I was
4K.
getting to. Look at
I saw
that's
that
what I wrote
announcement.
here. See at the top,
Yeah.
Terror at
Yeah.
10 Killer.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting to.
Terror at 10 Killer. Barely watchable. You know, the only reason, and I'm never going to buy it, is because the copy that's available, which I think I watched on YouTube, is so fucking brutal, murky, piss poor quality that it would be interesting to see. Now, remember, it's still a steaming turd of a film, but at least it will be a better looking steaming turd of a film. And I will watch it maybe to see the quality difference, kind of like I watched The Prey. Did I have a newfound appreciation for The Prey? I wouldn't say that, unless you watch the Kuno de-analyzed version, which is like an hour and a couple minutes long, cuts every animal shot out of it. It still doesn't make it a good movie, but it makes it a bearable one at least. Terror 10 Killer was just a boring, bad movie.
Yeah, but people are gonna. How much is it on 4K?
Oh, I don't know if they had.
Why is it a 4K?
Why is it? They just jump right over Blu-ray. But it's Vinegar Syndrome, I believe, putting it out, and it's right from the camera negative, so it should be a fantastic transfer, I guess, a beautiful transfer, but of a shitty fucking movie. Holy shit! That I told you, Shadows Run Black. Those were all at the bottom of my slasher list. There's another one that Fatal Pulse?
Maybe.
Something. Yeah. Another one, just abysmal. Oh yeah.
Right.
But
I know.
as we discussed on the show before, and with the reality of the internet, is that you get these wackadoos that love these movies that have a following. Yeah, I love slashers too. But
yeah.
those are a fucking chore to get through. A chore. I would rather watch Friday 5 again.
The problem is blind buying, and the problem is just
blind buyers.
Just having buyers that are willing to part with that much money for something that's unknown to them, you know, or that's, I don't know. But there's nothing we can do. We'll be the bad guys. If someone's listening to the show the first time, we're saying that, but it's what drives the market. That's
we're
talk
the
economics.
assholes.
Well, but we're not assholes. We're looking out for the
are.
betterment of all of us. We're looking out for prices to come back down to earth where they should be. And the only way that's going to happen is by not just saying, shut up and give me your money.
But there's certain movies now. $10 is $10. $10, I think anybody can part ways with. Would I buy it for $10? Maybe, just as because they're like, just to see what the quality of that transfer is and whatever extras are on there. But that is even saying a lot. Like I would be upset with losing that money.
Well, yeah, no, $10 that people would jump at that. I think. Well, if they're probably jumping anyway,
it's not going to be $10. So it's going to be 50. It's going to be 50 or more, probably. Well, Canadian. Who knows with you fucking
whatever
guys.
It is. A lot of them are $40 plus. A lot of the 4Ks, and it's just it ain't happening, man. I'm not doing it.
I just bought some more Blu-ray because I found how I was collecting those LPs. A Canadian retailer had one of them for sale, and if you bought it on eBay, they were listing it at eBay. It was $49.99 or whatever, $20 shipping. I'm like, well, that's better than some of them because it's out of print now. It's hard to get this one. So I'm like, well, that's a good price and whatever. But if you went to their site directly, free shipping if you bought X amount of dollars worth. So I'm like, well, why pay $20 in shipping when I just have to spend a little bit more and get free shipping?
Yep.
So I did. So I packaged it up. I got the Maniac Remake Blu-ray, which they had for a great price because I've seen that listed astronomically as well sometimes. So I wanted that one in the collection. And even though I have the Saw box set in Blu-ray and the first one in 4K, I want to get the individual ones because that fucking box set has no special features. It's bare bones movie, cheap, and that's it. But I already had it, so I just figured. So I got part 2, 3, and 4 because I had the other ones just so that I've got them now and I have the special features to watch once and never again. But they were not expensive. At Paranormal Activity 1 and 4 to finish that off. And then I've got those collections now all on Blue.
Nice.
Oh, and
Nice.
Lords of Salem. Lords of Salem.
Oh.
It was a good price, and there's only a commentary on it from Rob Zombie, but as a special feature, but I'll take it.
Is it a blue?
Yeah, it's a Blu-ray.
Okay, I'm sure I have it.
It was not expensive
not?
either. It was used, but that's the place called The Beat Goes On. So they've got they do have new, but I talked about it before in the show. So it was good. Good score.
That's cool. I tell you, see the thing with 4K, I won't buy the Saw 4K. I don't see a need for it for a movie like Saw, unless something tells me it's tremendous or something. It's like, oh my God. But the Maniac thing, even, I got the blue and I got the 4K, and I'll say it again, that the Maniac remake looks better than both of those, the transfer.
Yeah.
Regular blue. It's sometimes it works wonders, other times it doesn't. That's all there is to it.
Blu-ray is actually really good. We're just conditioned. Like we know that it's supposed to be better, but it's not always the case, and there's not always the need to upgrade. So I'm starting to, like, I was jumping back into it and I was collecting things like left, right, and center. Now I'm starting to take a back seat. I didn't get the Creep Show set when Scream Factory released it originally, and I thought they overpriced it. It ended up going up in price as opposed to down, which happens sometimes. But now the 4K is out, so I'll get the 4K with that original art, which I love.
Yeah, for sure.
So that one I'll get the 4K. I have the Burning. I'm not getting the 4K for.
Yeah, neither am I. Unless
My Bloody Valentine.
says something.
My Bloody Valentine, I don't think I will either. I mean, I love My Bloody Valentine.
See,
one of my favorite.
I'm not doing it.
But
I'm with you.
I got it in blue, and I'm very happy with the copy of it. So I just feel like I have done that. I've double dipped and whatever, but I'm like, I gotta you gotta know when to say when.
Yes, and it's true though, and I'm with you there. That's what I'm saying. I'll get 4Ks. I'll get the Argento 4Ks. I'll get certain ones. You know what I mean? I'll take the gamble, but I'm not just getting it to get it all the time. I won't do it.
No, it's fucking
Pumpkinhead 4K or freaking Silent Night, Deadly Night 4K. I think I'm over it. I mean, I want 4Ks. Okay, I'll get the Witch 4K.
But you've got the physical media. I'm just making sure I'm not going off the fucking track. You've got the physical already. The whole point of this is support physical. Well, we've got physical now. Yeah. And I can't imagine some of these I could see being better. We've talked about this on the show numerous times, in fact, but not always. It's not always the case. It's not. No, it's even not. Martin got some mixed reviews. The Second Sight, they put out Dawn of the Dead and Texas Chainsaw, but I heard some mixed reviews of their 4K. And so sometimes and they've got It Follows coming out. They've got, I told you that Frontiers, we mentioned this last show. There's a few that are on the horizon that actually I'm like, ooh, I'd like to add that to the collection. Like Nightbreed, I've got the B region Blu-ray. So I might want to get a region-free 4K, maybe. And then I don't have to worry about it. But again, it's all relative to the price.
I got Carrie. I got that one. There's certain movies I'll get it for. I got TCM. You know what I mean? But I'm bumming out because I never even opened it yet. And I should have got the one that you got. But this one was just out first. But I keep hearing that the other one looks a lot better. The 4K.
They have a standalone version. You don't have to get the deluxe version. They've got it in standalone now.
Yeah, but I already bought the other one. What would I do with it?
Yeah, you opened it too?
No, I didn't even open it.
Oh, you might be able to. You could either just be a true collector and have both, or try to sell it on eBay.
I mean, I do have that. I have done that in some. Here it is. Look,
the Dark Sky one, right?
The wrapper's still on it. This one.
It's a cool cover, though. That's a cool cover.
It is a cool cover. Yeah, who makes
that's the slip, right? And then I think the other one, it's Dark Sky, isn't it?
Is it? I was gonna try to look it up. Man, I can't remember. Might be. Dark Sky. Yep, you're on it. Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, Ultra HD. It sounds great. Feature commentaries, which I don't know. They've probably been available.
I heard it was
bottom line is.
I heard it was a really good transfer.
Did you? I keep hearing yours brought up.
Yeah,
So I'm
well,
like, man,
so did I. I mean, but there's that
yeah.
European dude, not European, well, British dude that has a site that I like going and I like him, and he was doing a comparison. He was the one that mentioned that the Martin one left something to be desired, and I think he followed it up saying it was better than he rewatched it and he thought it was better than his initial reaction, but still, his initial reaction was Martin wasn't as good as it could have been based on the previous second sight releases. But I'm interested in seeing their It Follows set and whatever. Like there are certain films that I kind of I want, but do I need to spend the extra amount in the special features or the limited edition version, which typically is the lobby cards or in a book. But those
Mhm.
books are really cool. The It Follows will have a book in it as well.
That's cool. I'm just not into the books and stuff that much. Not that I'm opposed to people that are. I just
Well,
I
you've
don't
got to
know.
figure out, do
I
you just want
guess
the movie or not? I mean,
I
that's what it boils down to. And some people like you, don't give a shit. They just want the movie. You're getting the movie in the best quality. Done, done, and done.
because I never get around to that shit. Maybe when I was younger or something, I barely get around to the specs on half of them that I want to watch. A lot of times I don't have time.
Did
You
you see
know,
this Autopsy of Jane Doe new one with the new sleeve?
nah, I did not.
It's not 4K, which shocked me. It's just
Huh?
Blu-ray. Um, Here, I'll bring it up.
Isn't it weird that?
It's visual.
Oh, that's
So she's
cool.
naked and there's a bit of
Huh?
bush on the cover too.
Oh wow,
But
I
then if
didn't
you
even
when
know
you
that. I just
open
saw
it
the
up,
blood.
so when you open it up, well,
Hmm.
the name of the title of the film, Autopsy of Jane Doe, is like cut into her, but there's one
Wow,
more, and then
yeah,
that's the actual disc.
nice.
So she's
Who
opened
makes
up.
that?
That's
That's cool. That is
that's
cool.
officially Raven Banner's the distributor. I think that's the distributor of the film, but I
Yeah,
think they're the actual
that
one
is the
putting out
district.
the uh the release as well
Interesting.
from the looks of it.
Yeah, that
Uh,
that that raven flapping his wings at the beginning. I love that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
I
love
like
that
the
movie.
raven banner.
I love that
Yeah, oh
movie. That movie's
yeah,
gotten better and
yeah,
better every time I watch it. It's one of my modern favorites.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Speaking of favorites in modern, check this out. I've been going down my personal top 100 from the what do you call it, from the 2010s, because the guys always want to watch new movies. So anything they haven't seen, I go down. So the other night, some movies I've been doing in order, make
it's a
sure,
specialty.
and I haven't missed yet. Right, this one I didn't miss on it, but um, it's they weren't as high on it as I once was, and but they still enjoyed it. But there was a little bit of
Shoot it to me. What was it?
well, check this out. So I'm going through the top, of the 210s. The movie was, which I had ranked at number 26, my 26th favorite film of the 2010s, and now it's not going to be on the list anymore. How about that? Because I watched it with them and they pointed out some things. That could happen to me sometimes. It's only fair. If I see that, I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're kind of right. It's still
Was it
fun. It's still
was it
great. I
Gone
enjoyed it.
Girl and it was Ben Affleck's dick in the shower? Is that what they pointed out?
No, it was
Oh, okay.
not. Nope.
Sorry, we watched that
Just
this week, and I saw Ben Affleck's
Angelina.
dick in the shower.
Oh, that's not Angelina. That Angelina's gone in 60 seconds. Shit,
Yeah.
what am I thinking? Who's in Gone Girl? Who's the girl?
I can't remember her name, but she
Okay.
she was in Doom. I don't know, she's in a lot of things. I just can't remember her name. She's great in it though.
Oh,
Movie's
wait a
great.
minute. You're
David
not talking
Fincher.
about Zendaya. It's not Zendaya. No, she wasn't
No,
around. She wasn't around
no,
yet.
it's a
She's
blonde
in
girl,
Dune.
blonde woman, but I can't
Did you mean the
remember.
original Dune or the
No,
new one?
Doom with a
Oh, Dune.
Doom.
Okay.
Fucking
I thought you said Dune.
hey,
And every time people mention Dune nowadays, it's the new one.
you know this. You know the saying "small potatoes," right?
Of
Oh, that's
course.
small potatoes.
I say it all the time.
I'm driving. Yeah, exactly. I drive my daughter and her friends home from the Niagara Falls, and I'm like, they're talking about how Taylor Swift isn't coming to Canada. I don't know why she's shunning Canada, but this billion-dollar tour, she's not coming to Canada.
She doesn't like Canada.
And well, then so Justin Trudeau, our prime minister, supposedly wrote a tweet saying, "Hey, we'd love to have." I don't know what he wrote, but we'd love to have you here.
Whatever.
It's all over the media. Whatever.
I'm tired
So
of it.
so then anyway, I'm like, they're like, there's got to be these. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, you think Middle America has these big concert halls? They got these little ship reader rinky-dink things. Are like rinky-dink. I'm like, yeah, like small potato like facilities. They're like small potato. They had no clue what I was talking about. I'm like, okay, I'm officially old.
Well,
rinky-dink
keep this in mind.
and
Small potatoes. Rink-a-dink, you said?
Yeah.
Rinky-dink?
Rinky-dink
Okay.
and small potatoes.
Is it rink-a-dink or rinky-dink? How do you say
I
it?
don't know. I think I just say it whatever comes out of my mouth at the time. Rink-a-dink.
I don't.
I think I say rink-a-dink.
Interesting.
But
I
it's
think,
supposed to be rinky-dink.
yeah, that's what I would have called.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said rinky-dink, but if I was going to say it, I would say rinky, not rinka. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a Canadian thing I could laugh
No,
about.
it's
not.
rinky-dink,
Okay.
but I probably, knowing me, said rink-a-dink.
Well, we'll check it. Small potatoes is an old saying that we inherited from our parents. We just stopped saying it so much around our kids that they don't know. But like small potatoes, like it was used in The Godfather. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
Hyman Ross said in Godfather Part 2. He goes, Frank Pantangelis, he goes, these small potatoes. You know? So an old man in 1975 or whatever, actually, that took place even before that.
Yeah,
Godfather.
it did. Yeah, exactly.
Look at the okay. That's who was using small potatoes. So it isn't that world.
So it's
We just
cock of the
didn't pass
walk.
it on. Cock of the walk.
Sure, if I said, "Hey, you guys are walking the cock of the walk," they probably think I'm cursing at them or something.
I will tell you what. I'm certain I've said small potatoes in front of my daughter. I'm gonna say and see if I get a reaction.
They were looking at me like I had two fucking heads on. This is just
Wow.
2 hours ago.
Well, if they're smart, they'll kick it into the vocabulary of modern times.
That's
and
what I was joking. I
resurrect
said,
it.
I go, you guys are going to be using that all week. I go, this is going to be the new term. It's coming back. Now, if you
It might-
start hearing small potatoes again, it started fucking here, folks. Yeah,
Small
I'll take
potatoes.
it. I'll take the fucking claim.
Hashtag small
And fame.
potatoes. Yeah.
Hashtag
Yeah. Just give me the money, really, the fame. Who
Yeah.
needs fame at this point? It's not like you can do anything with it. You can't, you're married. You know? What can you do with it?
Yeah.
Why be famous? Like, to me, the reason to be famous was always to hook up with women. I mean, what else would it be?
Now, I apologize because you said you noticed something, and then I went about the movie that was in your top 100, and I got us onto Ben
Yeah.
Affleck's dick and then the small potatoes, which, funny enough,
That's
are
it.
not related. So
You
then,
just recalled it.
yeah,
Reel it in.
yeah.
You reeled it in. That's all you got to do. It doesn't matter when it gets reeled in on this show, as long as we don't forget to reel it in.
I think we forget a lot of times to reel it in. Today we
I don't
didn't.
know. Listeners, ask us if we forget to reel it in, and ask us. Well, don't bring up the cliffhangers from the old days, because I think half of the cliffhangers we never
Oh,
we left them hanging.
They're still hanging. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still hanging, and this is the Brandon days. So think about that, cliffhangers. So
The Brandon days. That's how I'm gonna have to like do the back catalog now. The Brandon days.
if there was like a documentary on us about Netflix one day, if we got famous, that me sitting, yeah, back in the Brandon days, the
Yeah.
Brandon era. That's what like people would say that were on the show.
That's
They'd
when the show.
interview.
That's when the show was top of the mops. And
Yeah.
now it's top of the pops at the
Imagine
most.
that they're interviewing people we know, like friends and podcasters, and they're talking about. And one of them would say, "Well, I'll hear like Jamie saying that or something. Well, back in the Brandon era, you know what I mean? And there she is on screen.
The Brandon era. It's true. We're so fucking pompous. The Brandon era.
Oh, so anyway, the Brandon era is that what I said? Era or no? I said time.
Whatever.
Days.
But then you switch it to
Brandon
the era.
days.
Yeah.
Brandon days I like. That's more casual. The Brandon days. So anyway, that was the cliffhangers. Oh, so the movie was Don't Breathe.
Oh. Brandon,
I know
don't
you'd
breathe.
be happy about
Brandon,
that.
don't breathe.
Yes, Brandon, don't breathe. There he comes up again. Yep.
Not literally, Brandon.
Brandon, don't breathe. I'm in trouble deep.
Yeah.
For
Papa,
some
don't
reason, that
preach.
fits.
Brandon,
Yeah.
don't breathe. I know. Uh,
I've been losing air,
It's a good,
but I
but
made
I
up
came
my
up.
mind.
So that's the
I'm gonna
funniest part of that. I
keep
came up with that
editing.
movie, but I'm only like at a 7.5. Like,
Well,
because the movie
I'm at
looks
like an
good.
8 now.
Yeah.
I'm at like an 8 now, but I was higher. I was 8.5. I was damn. It had to have been a 9 to be that high. Number 26.
You
So
were
I
high.
went down a full
Brandon
point.
and I were at like 6.
I know.
Or
I
ish. Yeah.
know.
And then
I know.
but then I came up. I rewatched it, just like Split. I rewatched it. And again, I admit when I have a stick up my ass sometimes in the initial viewing, and will remedy it upon rewatch.
Well, here's my
I
question.
probably have to watch The Craft again then. I got to suffer through that again because I feel like I just did a shit potato all over you.
That happens. The question is the top 200 movies.
Does it happen? Does a shit potato? I just threw one word out there that
Why
doesn't
not?
even didn't even. Yeah, like that happens.
We're all about potatoes today. I just
Yeah.
went with it because that's what I do. Shit potatoes, small potatoes. So what am I looking at? Don't Breathe. Let's see if Don't Breathe made the top 200 because I don't know if it did. Nope.
No, I don't think it would have because I don't know. I don't know if everybody considered it horror, even though it easily could fit in that genre, no question.
I don't think it's questioned like a lot of other films are, but I do hear you. And that's another movie that I wouldn't want to get on 4K. All these new movies I don't want to get on 4K. It follows. It's so awesome to look at those. So I don't know. Like Neon Demon, I would get on 4K. Anyway, I don't want.
And Neon Demon doesn't have a 4K. Isn't that the fucking craziest thing of it?
It has an overseas one. I'm gonna get it.
Is that region locked? Like you're saying?
That one is not. Some are. But
What?
that's not
What is that? I thought that was the whole point of 4K.
That's not the point. That was just something.
One of the benefits, I think, is guess what it meant.
I don't think they manufactured it that way. It was just something that got discovered by collectors. It was just a glitch in the freaking manufacturing of it. They just didn't do it. They didn't have the time to do it. Whatever reason, it came out word of mouth that they're not region locked. So check it though. Okay. Now, maybe they're getting wind of it, and now the future. Maybe this is the taste of the future. They're going to be region locked.
Oh, blow.
That would. I hear you, because I want to get that Neon Demon. Well, it's already out, so but it's too expensive. Again, so anyway, Don't Breathe. Yeah, I went down a little on it because they were pointing some things out. They were saying basically about the guy getting there like immediately and just a couple things in the movie that made it. You have to make suspend disbelief a little more than I'm comfortable with. And still calling it my number 26 movie of the 2010s. So, but that's how I am. That's what I'm trying to say. That I can be talked down or I can be talked up in a certain company if you bring up points. Obviously, you and Brandon didn't say that, but they were saying when we were watching the other day. Or maybe it's the experiencing of watching the movie with other people.
And it might be.
That is the thing. Do you notice couples? A lot of times couples agree on the same movies and nobody else and everybody else has a different opinion, or people that watch movies together a lot,
So you know what we did? We watched random movies. And again, these were because I think I was trying to get into the mindset to write and whatever. And I think I brought it up. And one of them was, let me just double check. Cause I thought it was The Den, but I think I brought up The Den last show. I watched The Den again. So I don't know if it was that one, but definitely one of the ones that I am talking about was The Bay. So I watched The Bay again, which I loved, and I was showing my daughter The Bay because I said, "You want to watch another found footage?" And she said, "Sure." Well, this is one of my favorites from the found footage genre, and it's still fantastic. What I forgot was it took place on July 4th. So
yeah,
we've been watching all these movies that the dates that are showcased in the movie happen to be like, of course, when you're watching Return of the Living Dead, we know, or like now, because it's like we've watched them so many times, or Jaws, of course. But these ones, even though I've only watched them a handful of times, you forget kind of. And it just happened to be like 3 movies in a row Gone Girl being another one, all coincided roughly the dates that we were watching them.
Wow.
Like
That's
July
great.
8th, whatever,
Right.
4th or 5th in the case,
Dude,
whatever. It was just
I know that
crazy.
feeling. I've had that happen plenty of times, even this past year. So I know it's crazy though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the Bay, speaking of the Bay, Frankie really wanted to watch it because she loves it. It's like one of her favorite movies at all. And she wanted to watch it on the 4th because I said, yeah, it's the 4th. We should watch it. And we were going to watch it. But then we ended up going to doing something different on, we didn't have the time on July 4th by the time the day was said and done. And then she wanted to watch it on the 5th, and I didn't want to watch it because the 4th was the day before. And I should have, because I watched some other found footage movie with her that ended up not being, it's not going to make a list. You know what I mean? So
I can't think of that other one, but it's
our
gonna
4th
drive
of
me
July
crazy.
movie.
Some-
I Knew What You Did Last Summer.
No, I don't think it was 4th of July. I think it was the Den. That and it just happened to be when we were watching it was around that time frame. Oh no, that one was the time. That's what it was. They did a timestamp and it said like 9:58. She's like, "Oh my god, Dad!" And she turned her clock. She was looking at her phone. It's like it's 9:58.
Wow,
And
that's great.
It freaked her the hell out. Like one of those things.
That is great, and that has not happened to me to the exact time. The days I get all the time, I get all kinds of other strange things like that you wouldn't even believe, but I haven't had the exact time. I don't think. That's great. Wow. Well, that's
Bear
wild,
with me.
man.
There's someone at my door, and I'm just trying to find out if it's.
Yeah,
Oh no,
it's
it's
okay.
just a package. I
Okay.
sometimes the way he barks, it's like the people haven't left. I just wanted to see if there was a reason, but no, all good. But yeah, no, that was what it was. This was the time in the den that just coincided, and she was like freaked out by it
Okay.
in a good
Yeah,
in a good way.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Freaking, and the Den is great. Yeah. And I've been still watching mad amounts of found footage. It's crazy. But I asked a couple more went to the list. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good with it.
Did you ever reach back out to that guy that let you watch his movie, the Bell one, and Bell of the Ball?
No,
What was it called?
I really should. We just
Because I just wanted to find out if it was going to be released officially this year or what his intentions
that's the
were.
plan. That's the plan. That's what he told me. I mean,
Did he tell you the budget? Did he just make it on his own for no money?
I don't know if I got into all that with him or not. I figured we would on the show if he was on the show, but we just,
bring him on. Bring him on. I still think we should bring him on.
Yeah, we
That'd be
can.
awesome.
It's just our time is kind of odd, but I mean, it's worth a,
Yeah.
we could have him on.
What are you doing Sunday mornings?
Right? I think I might have even mentioned it to him. So maybe we can bring him on for the BS or something.
For sure. I'd love to
'Cause
talk to him. I like to talk to people that have made films because I like to get their input on their process and what they've gone through. Because sometimes they're totally amateurs. And it's great because they have nothing to
Yeah.
bog them down. They don't actually have, like, sometimes I think going to film school, and when I say film school, I mean a program that was dedicated towards film production and also film history and theory before that. And the reason I say it like that is because sometimes that works against you because then you learn supposedly the rules and then you feel burdened by them instead of just going out and trying shit. Now, going out and trying shit can also lead to a lot of this amateur shit that I've also complained about on the show. So,
sure.
but if you have got some talent or some know-how, it's kind of nice just to not have the chain down to feeling like there's a certain way to do it or one way to do it. So that's what I like.
No, I hear you. No, it is an interesting. Oh, geez, now I'm hitting my mic. There you go. No, interesting conversations can be had. That's true. I just wasn't sure how to do it exactly because I don't know how enthusiastic he was about doing a whole show. But I was like, well, we can do a BS segment.
Come on,
introduce
yourself. If we don't like you, we'll just edit the segment.
That'll be it. We cut it short. I don't know. I'll start reading Fangos on him.
He'll be gone like Chris, aka Scott. He'll just be out Out the door. Boom. Done.
Oh, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it just because.
Read a segment. Let's do it
I'm
now.
I'm
And then
gonna
we'll
read a
jump in. We'll
segment.
jump into some movies after because
Yeah. I'll
I
jump
want
into
to.
it. Okay,
You go.
well,
You go, girl.
yeah. You keep busy, buddy.
Where did that go? You go, girl.
I don't
What the
know.
fuck? So what else did I watch? I'll do a quick little what I watched, which I've already kind of mentioned it. The movies that we're doing tonight for Summer Sausage, which were Frankenstein Meets The Wolfman and Hellraiser, Hell World. They're all starting to blend together now. It's scary. I keep forgetting which ones I've watched now. But for the rest of the week, of course, it was Jaws, Return of the Living Dead. I think it goes without saying almost, just based on the time frame of the year. My one time a year watch. And the Bay I mentioned, Gone Girl, Jaws 2, and Gardens of the Galaxy Volume 3. So that was what rounded out the week. All worth checking out. I'm a sucker for Jaws 2. I said Jaws 2.
Okay.
I mean, it's not the first movie, but I will say one thing. They at least carry over the almost the cinematography. What I mean by that is the anamorphic aspect of it. So it plays out like when we talk about Friday 1 and 2 looking very similar to one another, Hellraiser 1 and 2 looking very similar to one another. For the most part, Halloween 1 and 2 looking very similar to one another. And you could say the same thing about Jaws 1 and 2. The difference being that you don't have as capable of a director, but you still have a decent enough director. I think some of the shark attacks could have been edited a little bit better. But other than that, it's still a really well-made movie. It's fun. And it has some schlocky moments, or that you bring that term that you brought up forth last week and whatnot. Him taking down the helicopter is fucking great.
What, tits like a sparrow?
That too.
What is that?
Yeah.
I still don't know. And here's the thing. In the Mad Magazine version of it, I remember seeing this when I was a kid because I used to read Mad Magazine, and they used to always have movie parodies as one of the things they would do in there. In the Jaws 2 one, sure enough, I remember reading it there. Tits like a sparrow. And that was before I saw the movie. And that confused me then. And then I saw the movie, and then the kid said it in that movie. And to this day, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Tits like a sparrow. What was he trying to say?
Bird tits. I think they mean small tits.
Bird.
We had this whole argument on the show before.
We did have the argument?
Yeah. I think Brandon and I both said like budgie tits or something like that. I don't know.
Budgie. Okay. Budgie. Well, sparrows are sparrows big? Big birds or small?
They're small. They're the little gray things.
Then.
Yeah.
I was picturing, tits as big as birds. So, that could be anything, I guess. There's big birds or small birds.
The only one that did his whole fourth year thesis on tits like a sparrow.
I don't know, man. It's just always bugged me. Since I read it in that thing when I was a kid, I didn't get it. And then I saw it in the movie years later, and it reignited that there was a mystery to me when I was young, and remains one to this day. That's just one of those things. So, oh shit. Hey, okay, I'll tell you what I watched.
Are you a fan of this slasher film? It gets brought up a lot, but are you a fan of it? And I'm holding a picture of Slaughterhouse.
I do like Slaughterhouse. Yes, I do. Yes.
I like it. I don't love it.
No, but it's like I'll tell you what, for me, it's like another Madman. Like I don't have some people rate Madman really high, right on. I see some flaws in it, so to me it's over here. But I still enjoy it for what it is. I just don't elevate it with some other ones. Well, and that's how I feel about Slaughterhouse.
Madman got a 4K too, actually. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I mean,
can't.
Yeah, there's certain ones like, I mean, I admit that I like some of the lighting in Madman. It was just overseen for whatever reason. I remember seeing the cover box, but never renting it for whatever reason back in the day. And so I saw
I don't remember the box.
way later in life. and I enjoy it. I enjoy it, and like this one, it's decent, but I don't know if I
Yeah.
put it on a pedestal like a lot of people do for like the one and
What?
done slasher.
People put Slaughterhouse on a pedestal?
They put Madman on a pedestal. For
Oh,
Slaughterhouse, maybe not a pedestal.
the reason Madman got put on the pedestal is because it had gone a long time without a release when it came to DVD. And then came the Blu-ray. But what happened was when it was on VHS, there's not a whole lot of them. Like I didn't see it. It was on the shelves when I was a kid. I didn't see Madman until the freaking DVD came out years later. You know, so when the internet era came out, because that's how I discovered it. How about that?
I think
Weird,
I think I remember seeing the cover. That one when I see the cover box art of that, I remember that.
Mhm.
Kind of like the same thing with Scalps and the Slayer.
Wow.
I never watched Scalps or the Slayer back in the day, and it was the one that they had at my video store, or one of the video stores that I remember seeing the box set. It was a double feature with Scalps and Slayer on it. Video video, like from a video, not DVD, video. Dave.
I kind of remember that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, look there's the Madman VHS cover. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. You just remember that thing, right? Just him in the, yeah. Man, I don't think I did. Otherwise, I would have rented it for sure.
I would have rented
And
that
I
too.
didn't
That
remember.
passes their test. The test I didn't even know
Of
existed
course.
back in. Well, I did know it existed because to a certain degree, I think I followed suit. And
That's a good
again,
book.
I
That's a good
told you
cover.
on the show before, I had some, my mentality was if it had part 2, let's start there because it's obviously going to be better. That was how I thought as a kid. And then I realized very quickly that that's not the case, or very rarely the case.
Yeah, I don't. It's just a lot of times you got bone with good covers, even with good covers. You know,
that's the other 4K that I meant to tell you about. The Psycho box set. It looks like it's going to be. It's not. It's I think a European, or again, it's not one that's coming out here. It's an import.
Yeah,
I believe, but it's cool because it will be the first time Psycho 2 and 3, well, and 4 will be on 4K. Now I don't need one. I've got it on 4K, but I'll get the box set if it's a decent price point.
If it is, I will, because I don't have Psycho on 4K yet.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense. Yeah, yeah. Well, let me see what I watched really quick. It's all mostly found footage. This one I wasn't thrilled with. It was okay. Wekufe, Wekufe, The Origin of Evil. I gave it 2.5. People like it.
Not like we farted.
Wekufe, Wekufe. Speaking of farts.
What a segue.
Not your chair. Could you imagine farting, like blowing a fart that smelled so bad that you puked? The smell of your own fart made you puke. Do you think that's possible?
No.
Okay.
I could say, boy, this is terrible, but enjoy it for that same reason. Like, but that came out of me.
Right.
A bit of pride there with it.
Well, just your own farts don't usually smell as bad as other people's. That's all there is to it. And so think about that. It wouldn't make you puke. Well, this is supposedly a true story that I've heard for years. Scott, my buddy Scott, and this other kid, Danny, and this kid that we used to hang out with named Craig were sleeping in a tent together when they were kids. And they were in the Craig's backyard, I think. Either way, Craig blew a fart. Okay? And the fart smelled so bad.
Like it was like bubble gum. He blew a bubble. He blew a fart.
Yeah. Didn't you? Isn't that the term? Blow a fart?
I guess it can be.
Okay. Michael motorcycle blew a fart and fell apart. Remember that one?
No, but
no. Okay. Well, blew a fart. Yeah, you blow a fart. Did somebody blow a fart? Anyway, God. So anyway, Craig farted. Was that better? Craig farted.
Much.
And it smelled so bad that all 3 of them puked. Can you imagine this?
What?
That's what I was told. That's what I was told. So unless it's a gross exaggeration in more ways than one,
Sounds
that's what
like it
I've been
is.
told. I don't know. They were kids.
I wish you could bottle that memory up and so we could experience it to this day.
Oh God. Anyway,
I don't know
I
why
just
I
thought
want
I
to
would-
experience it, but I kind of like if it's that bad, you're like, almost come on, I gotta just like a Serbian film. I didn't want to watch it, but I'm like, yeah, let's see what it's all about.
well, the whole thing with with the fart and getting sick last night, I was saying to my wife when we were getting ready for bed, I said, she said that she snored so loud because she took, she was up for a very long time. And then she had a reaction on her face from something. So she took a Benadryl and then she took a second Benadryl, which is insane. And then she went into a deep sleep and she was snoring loud. And we were talking about it. And I said, I'm surprised. I go, you were snoring so loud. I'm surprised you didn't wake yourself up. I said, and she goes, I have woken up from my own snores. I said, really? I go, what?
Oh, I
I go,
do all
that's
the time.
crazy. I
Yeah.
go, that's crazy if it's true, because I go, to me, waking up to your own snore is like, puking off of your own fart. I said, and ever
Really?
since I remember that. Well, I just didn't, not as an insult. I'm just saying, it just doesn't seem like something that would happen. Wake up to your own snore. I don't know. But anyway, since I said that,
I've done that though. I like woken up to my own snoring.
oh, have you?
Yeah.
Wow, the
For
noise
sure.
woke you up. Wow, okay. I just figured it was something that wouldn't happen, but I guess it's common. Okay.
I don't
Because
comment, but I mean, it's definitely happened.
I don't think it's happened to me. I'll tell you that. But anyway, okay. The next one was better. Children of Sorrow. I gave it 4 stars. So 4 out of 5. So it made the list. It's a cult one. I just happen to be partial to cult found footage movies. I like when they're executed well, and this is my kind of story. So Alien Valley 3.5. So there you go. It's worth a check out. Screamers 3 out of 5. That was the one I was talking about. I watched it. Francesca was fine. Haunting of Grady Farm 3.5 stars. So that was recommend. The horror. Oh, jeez. Basement. The Horror of the Cellar 2.5. So no, but some comedy in there. So that's it. That's all it was for found footage. But check those out, man. I'm still for the most part doing well. So oh yeah.
Like I said, you haven't given it to me yet, and I would like an updated list, at least for the ones to check out that
I'll
you've
tell you
watched in
what.
the last few months.
I took pictures of it today, so I'll send them to you.
To prove
I'll
it?
send them. The whole list. My wife will take pictures. Yeah. You still haven't heard that one, have you? That Jerky Boys, which
No, the one that
is
you
one
said
of my
was, yeah.
yeah, the one that it was on the original tape, and they call the guy at the hotel. We'll fuck you all night. You have her. She's my new bride. I know what's on there. You got to look it up, man. It's the hotel prank. It's great. It's great. It's one of the all-time greatest.
She's
Jerky
my
Boys.
new bride.
She's my new bride. He says, it's great, man. He goes, we'll hook you up with you hook us up with a free room. We'll hook you up with a piece of ass. He says, he's basically saying that him and his wife are going to come there and, have sex with them all night, stuff. It's great. Oh, it's great. So anyway, look at this.
Sorry, bring it up. There we go.
It's Fangoria number 6. Star
Nice.
Wars on the front. See, they're still. Isn't
Yeah.
that weird? Isn't that what a weird freaking
Star
cover?
Wars.
But did you notice what was
R2D2
over
of death.
here? Look at the rest on here. Introducing a cartoon.
That looks like
Vincent Price
fucking.
at the top.
That looks like
Ta-da!
what's a not Snuffleupagus. The guy from the
Count?
Smurfs.
Oh, Gargamel.
Yeah, Gargamel.
Yeah, it does look like Snuffleupagus. Who confuses Snuffleupagus with Gargamel? That's insane. Wow. That's like confusing Dumbo with the freaking Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, I did.
That's oh wow. That's amazing.
This is some random fucking. Fangoria was fucking weird at the beginning.
Yes, it was. It wasn't full horror. I know it took some time, and plus Stephen King, George Romero, Quatermass, and too much to mention. But there's the big one: Friday the 13th, A Day for Terror. So now we're getting there, you know. And I gotta tell you, the quality of this. I got such a great deal for these Fangos from that other guy.
Yeah.
Very lucky. I can't believe the quality of these.
It was like a hand
I
job,
think
right?
it's-
And you gave me a little package for free.
That was it. Yep. So it says I'm supposed to read a mail, but my dumbass forgot to say which one. Isn't that crazy? So who
So I
knows?
guess you'll have to read them all, right, Chris?
All of them. Maybe it's this one. Let's see. Maybe it's this one. No, it can't be. Reluctant Fan, The Wonderful Wizard. Well, I know you. Who can't
I
stand
did that.
Herschel?
I did that one, I think.
What?
Was that the Fango when I did the Undead Mail? And I was talking about them, and it was like, no, that was the Wiz. Talking about
Okay.
but it was from Fango. It was one of the early ones.
For a second, I thought you had freaking issue number 6.
No, I had a lot of the early ones. I didn't have one. I think I had issue 2 and 3, but not 6 because I didn't have the R2D2 and C3PO on there.
Wow.
Like I had a good chunk, and
Yeah.
those were when you could get the back catalog ones for still a pretty good price if you found them at like a used bookstore or something like that. They had them on, $3 to $5 a lot of times.
Right. No, man, now forget about it.
But I don't have them anymore.
Yeah, well, of course. I know you got rid of them, but who am I to talk? I got lucky to get them back. That's all there is to it, because I did get rid of mine. But now I got so many. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what's out for the mail. I don't know. This guy disagrees with something. Oldies are goodies. I strongly disagree with the letter writer in Fangoria number 3, who stated that there should be more material in the magazine about current movies and less about classic films of the past. With few exceptions, like Phantasm, all of the recent horror and monster movies I've seen have been insulting and of low mentality.
He's already on that bandwagon.
Yeah. I also have a suggestion. Why not compile a list of all the monster movies ever made? I'm sure most readers would enjoy it.
Just wait for what the next few years have in store for you, buddy.
Right. Yeah.
Every
no
week,
doubt.
2 new slasher films in the theater. The guy's head's going to explode.
Right? Maybe it did. He might not be around anymore. This poor guy. Fango 6, 1 male. Yeah, and I didn't write which one. Could have been that one. My son is interested in a career in special effects. Is there any school he can attend after completing high school that he will prepare for him in this field?
Signed, Mr. Wallace.
Ronald Suppernant. Look up a Suppernant. See if whenever made himself famous. S-U-P.
Oh, Jesus.
R-E-N.
S-U-P-R-E-N.
A-N-T. See if there's a Suppernant that became famous. If not, I'm not going to read the answer.
Supplement makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Supplement. Blur makeup room. That's a kit. Thomas E. Supplement. Makeup artist.
Wow.
Yeah, well, look at that.
Well, that's good enough then. Maybe that's him.
Thomas Supplement. I don't know.
He's from Michigan. This letter was from Michigan.
Well, this is this guy's in London, but who knows? Oh wait, there's here Thomas E. Supplement. He did Star Trek First Contact, Generations, Donnie Darko, but who the fuck knows?
That would be weird, man, because there's talk in here about Star Trek. Your feature on Star Trek the motion picture was great. So so someone's talking about that.
Yeah.
So we don't know. And this guy, you talked about the black hole on your thing. And there's something here that says about it says the whole truth. I've just seen the black hole. Sorry. I've just seen the black hole, and it's not all
for the first time.
It's not all it's been cracked up to be.
Much to be desired. It cost me $50 dinner. Man, we do crack ourselves up.
You went to the wrong hole. That's all I'm thinking. It's not all it's cracked up to be. I went to this new hole.
Fuck, that's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, I've heard a rumor about being a black hole too. If so, when will it be out? That's funny. Is there any word on the black hole too? I don't think so. As for the possibility of a sequel, the film's inconclusive finish certainly calls for one. Disney Studios, however, has not announced any plans in that direction. So never been talk about a black hole too, for anyone wondering.
Well, I think the first one bombed.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. All right, so let's see. One more thing here, and then that's the end of our segment.
Draw it out. I just speak at a very slow pace right now. I want Chris to feel every minute of this.
Yeah, me too. Every minute. There you go. Now we're going to talk about Star Trek. See? Or Star Wars. 40, left side, middle, and end. This is funny. Left side. Wow. Here's something weird. One magazine accused Star Wars of being racist because C-3PO and R2-D2 were turned away from the cantina. I think machinist is the word they want, quips Tony. You can get heavy about things all the time, but occasionally you can use humor to point out something silly. In this case, wasn't it silly that they didn't serve our kind in there? Well, the Office of Equal Opportunity may be checking out the storyline, but there is no cantina scene in Empire. There are compensations, however, throughout the film. Wow. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, Karen's back then too. So, I mean, it's not, we say this is all new, but there are people fucking bitching about this stuff way back when.
Yeah. Yep. They just have more of a canvas now.
Yeah.
That's all. Here Beck needed its articles and its mails. So I guess all this crazy crap would have happened if computers were around 30 years ago. We just happen to be in a crazy part. And on that note, I'm done with this Fango. How's that?
That was fast.
Yeah,
that's fast,
see,
but good. I like it. I do like it. I like visiting. Yeah, we can make comments about the black hole jokes and
black hole sun. Yep.
See, sing about it. That's good.
Yeah. It's not bad. Well, the next thing was something else was more about Star Wars. I don't want to go into Star Wars.
Yeah.
Especially after talking about Chris, aka Scott, and I didn't want to bring into it. Check it out though. Maybe he's a huge Star Wars fan, and he's going to be mad I didn't talk more about it. That'd be icing on the cake, honestly.
To be honest, I'm actually very interested in what you think of the films that we're doing this week. To be honest. Not that we have to jump right into them as of yet, but I just thought,
hey man,
we could at least get to Frankenstein and start our summer sausage off. And I have it up and running here. I'm actually on the ball. Bear with me here.
You're on the ball. That's
for once.
Somebody's got to be.
And we'll start with our first film, Frankenstein Meets The Wolfman, 1943. A beautiful 1 hour and 14 minutes long. Directed by Roy William Neal. The resurrected Wolfman, seeking a cure for his malady, enlists the aid of a mad scientist who claims he will not only rid the Wolfman of his nocturnal metamorphosis, but also revive the frozen body of Frankenstein's inhumane creation.
Inhumane?
That's even though he's already revived. Interesting. So here we go again. I think I've said this the last 2 shows. You've got franchise fever already in full form here, and we're in the 1940s. So the people
in the 1940s,
right?
We got to snap our fingers and get black and white before in the 1940s.
Yeah. You want
So
me to do
you
it?
tell
Here,
me
wait.
when you're ready.
I'll do it this time. You don't have to actually do anything if you don't want to.
Oh, I don't?
No. 3,
Oh,
2, 1.
black and white. All right.
I can't believe it.
All right.
But it never get. And thank you for reminding me about that. So we
You're
went in
welcome.
black and white a little later than we should have. But
So it's okay. I interrupted. I know what you said, though. Franchise
Yeah.
fever. I was thinking it as I was watching that, especially right at the beginning. And I even made some comments on it. So I am with you. This is franchise fever. This is no different than things that were done in other franchises later on.
yeah, like when
Similar-
people are complaining Friday 13th 5 or 6, this is
Yeah.
the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Like, and people are saying, oh, Hollywood doesn't have any fresh ideas. We're right at the beginning of the fucking film, and they're already sequelizing and doing all this shit and remakes right out of the gate. So shut the fuck up. and
It's
just
true.
watch the movie for a movie. They're fun. It's funny. This is an hour and 15. It starts like gangbusters, for lack of a better term. It's a lot of fun. And then I find it kind of feels like it just hangs in the middle for a bit. And then the end's great. But for an hour and 15, I thought this one wasn't as fun as the last one. And I remember enjoying this a lot. But the last one was so quick and almost so silly. It was just really enjoyable. I think, yeah, this one, for whatever reason, I felt like a little been there, done that.
I agree that it is less fun, but it's still fun.
Yes,
But for me,
sure.
what carries the movie, even the middle when it does slow down a bit, what carries the movie for me is Larry Talbot being back, because I really enjoyed the Wolfman, and it's nice to see, Lon Chaney Jr. back in this role. So
Yeah,
and it's more of a Wolfman movie for the first like 2/3.
for the first, it
You
is. It is. With like,
Yeah.
how do we end this one? Oh, we'll throw in Frankenstein this time. But they tend to melt like how they don't overthink it. It just sort of seems to flow beautifully. There are some stupidity parts here. This movie takes place 4 years after Wolfman is dead and buried. And
I like
it
that.
starts with grave robbers coming in, just like Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Like,
Yep.
carbon copy like it, coming through the avenue, and they're in there. They go into the tomb and they see him. They take the tomb out, and the moonlight, Wolfbane's in there. That's all good. He's
Yep.
like, why bother him? He's sleeping, was one of the lines. He's sleeping. He's been dead for 4 years, but he's not. He hasn't decayed one bit. Now, I guess
Right.
they're talking about the curse, but he literally does wake up. The moonlight hitting him wakes him up as if he hasn't been embalmed or prepped for death. And I guess if I'm arguing this, I never argue it for the Friday the 13th movies, or I do, but I still enjoy them for what it's worth. I'm only pointing out that all this stupidity was here from the get-go, and it's still fun to watch and whatever. But if you really deep dive into it, there's a lot of silliness here. Now, are they saying
Well,
because he was the Wolfman, they couldn't prep him for death, or like they put Wolfbane in the
they?
thing? That's it. Or
did they prep? Well, back in those days, think about when this movie takes place. Were they embalming people back then?
I thought, yeah, I would assume so. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long embalming's been around for. So I'm not going to profess to know, but maybe it's an obvious thing, and you're onto something. It didn't even occur to me. I was just thinking he's a Wolfman. He has that power, so he's never really he can never really truly be dead. That he's, because he has that power in him. Resurrection is more capable, but I didn't, and they put the Wolfbane in there, I guess, is like
the Wolfbane bringing the poem back, even a man like I love all of that. Like, it is truly a sequel to the Wolfman at this point, like, which it is. It's just a sequel mashup in the same sense.
I didn't think much about his resurrection. I was just like, okay, I just kind of went with that one. Where I was questioning anything was more Frankenstein. When they finally get to the monster, which at the beginning of the movie, it's called Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. And I'm looking at the credits coming in, and I'm seeing the people in it. And I start questioning to myself, is there going to be Frankenstein's monster here, or is this going to be about the Wolfman meeting Dr. Frankenstein? And the reason I said that is because I saw Bela Lugosi in the credits expecting Igor, and I don't see any other name for anyone that I know that has played the monster. So as I'm watching the opening credits and I'm seeing that, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, so is it really going to be Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, or is it truly Frankenstein because it's Frankenstein's monster? Are they taking it literal here? So this is what I'm thinking because of that. Now we find out that, I mean, Bela is the man. He's in everything. He's the franchise guy. Dracula and Frankenstein. It's nuts.
Both
right?
iconic monsters. Yeah.
It's crazy. And he's in both franchises a lot. So he's the king, But the fact of the matter is that when he gets resurrected, the fact that maybe because Frankenstein looks the way he looks and the way it occurs, this is, the note that I had there was, oh, hold on, let's see. Glad he's back. Well, anyway, I don't have. Ultimately, what I'm thinking is that it's Bela, and okay, that's interesting. And then I write, it's still better than a dog peeing fire and the ground splitting. That's all I got to say.
They just wake up
this,
Springfest. Like that's in these days. There were no really grandiose resurrections. It literally something happens, an event happens that frees them from their like where they're trapped and they're just alive. And in
like
this
Hammer
case,
Dracula.
Yeah. Well, they did have
too.
resurrections in that one with the
right. That's what I mean. He came back.
Yeah.
He kept finding new ways to come back, much like Freddy got. Well, not just Freddy, Jason. It's unfair.
It was very much like that's where they took a lot of inspiration for. Those ones were the Hammer ones. This one's they always just sort of wake up spring fresh. Like literally, neither of them are dead. One's in a tomb with Wolfbane on them, and one's frozen in ice. And he does meet Frankenstein's daughter, and he goes to Frankenstein's castle. And I love how suddenly there's just a beautiful dam that doesn't seem to destroy anything but the castle. Like we want to build our castle here, so let's dam this area off just because I want to build my castle here. Hey, asshole, why don't you just build the castle 50 yards to the right, and then we don't have to dam it off. But that dam just gets destroyed at the end for the one purpose to destroy the castle, and all the townsfolk are cheering as if they're not going to get flooded out in 2 minutes or whatever like that. It floods nothing of their existence. So why is there a dam there?
Wow, I didn't even see you. Wow, you thought deep about it. I didn't even. You're right.
I'm jumping to the end. It's a big climatic area, but I'm thinking about it going, well, there's no point for that. I thought, that water's going to come into the town. Nope. But anyway, we'll get to. I'm jumping the gun. Bela as Frankenstein. Okay. So you like Bela as Frankenstein?
I accepted it, but at first I'm like, well, he's awfully short for Frankenstein. Why didn't they put him on platform heels or do something when he's next to the Wolfman or around other people? They should have. I wish they would have made more of an effort. But it just goes to show you that, the first is the best for sure.
He's passable, but he doesn't have the charm of the past. It seems like he was the weakest Frankenstein so far. And it almost looked like they made their eyes even heavier because he always looked like he had to look up to see, like, oh, these are our friends, and he'd have to look up. Who's over there? But I'm nitpicking, but I was laughing a bit. Like there's a great sequence where they make a getaway on a horse and buggy, and there's all those barrels, and Frankenstein looks like he can't even get comfortable with the thing. It looks like he's about to fall off at any second, and they're just trying to throw barrels at people and whatever. It just looks sloppy and funny all at once. But he's passable, but it's the weakest portrayal of Frankenstein's monster to date, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, he's a little too short too, and I agree. It wasn't as good, but he is a great actor, though. He does what he has to do. I'll say. I mean,
it's passable, but it just feels like his traits haven't always carried over from movie to movie to movie.
That's fair,
but still, it's enjoyable. I'm just nitpicking because we're reviewing. but you're right. It's a Wolfman movie for the two thirds, and he even goes back to get the gypsy chick. And
This is what I'm saying.
and they talk
It's,
about Bella, who's
yeah,
fucking
her son.
who was
Right,
Bella
who got
Lugosi in the
killed,
fucking
who was Bella.
first-
See, he and the Wolfman. See, that just goes to show you, Bella Lugosi is the freaking king of Universal Monsters. He's in all of them.
Yep.
That's awesome. I love it. It's so cool to see this, transpire, because I can't say I knew it, and now I know. But
No, I didn't know.
that's what I'm
Bella
saying.
was in that many. I didn't know he was. I remember he
Right.
was in the Wolfman, and I didn't even remember he was in Frankenstein at all. I guess Igor or whatever, or that he
Right.
played Frankenstein. Admittedly, I don't. And I saw this one. I just didn't remember.
know. And I didn't, so I had
Yeah.
no way to know, and I just never heard it. But it's number one. I like the way he looks good wolfing out. Again, like
Yeah,
he looks.
the dissolves like they
Dissolve. I like it. It still
simple but
looks good.
effective. Yep.
The makeup is good.
Well, they
You
do
know
a
what I'm
good thing when the
saying?
moonlight creeps up on him through the
Yeah.
window. That was a really good touch. You just see the
Mhm.
light like creep across the floor as it comes towards him, and then he looks like he's drunk or whatever because he's always sweaty. Now that could be
Well,
makeup sweat, but I think
he probably is.
I think it was like the
Sadly.
sweats. Yeah.
Sadly, you could tell that he was looked a little different in that short time. But anyway, yeah. But he's still great. I still love seeing him on the screen and sympathize with him. And but it feels like a true sequel, because they go to the gypsy woman. What's her name?
Yeah.
Maliva. And they go through all it. I'm like, oh, okay.
They leave her alone.
Yeah. Nice.
Sorry.
That should have been used in Young Frankenstein.
Frau Brucker.
Awesome. And they talk about going to see Dr. Gordon. Dr. Gordon and the gypsy woman, they say. And I'm thinking, Dr.
Come here,
Gordon.
Gordon. Come here, Dr. Gordon.
Yeah.
That's a Brandon joke for all you. If you miss Brandon there, there's one of us.
For sure. And then gypsy woman. When I hear gypsy woman, I automatically go back to Kari Wurr and freaking in Thinner, because you're never gonna see a better looking gypsy woman than her in that movie. So anyway, Kari. So yeah, I'm glad that the gypsy woman is back, though, in all seriousness, with her, and she's good, and it's cool. It's a true sequel,
Yep.
And I noticed something. Every
And her
movie
wanting to
in this
help her.
franchise. What's that?
And her wanting to help him. I think
Yeah.
it's like
And took
take on the
yeah.
mother role almost, like he convinces her, and then she comes aboard and wants to help him.
Yeah, it's cool. And then we forget about her for a bit because they lock her up, and then they bring her back. I'm like, yeah, what are you doing? I thought she was going to go away. What are you doing here? You got to have her come back. So that was cool. And something I noticed about this franchise, every movie in this franchise, there's a scene of a guy carrying a young dead girl like this.
Yeah.
That's the signature of this franchise. It's like people not wiping their ass in Friday the 13th. That's what this is. Or the dinner scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They got to have it. At one point in the movie, a guy's got to carry a dead freaking adolescent girl.
And the townsfolk have to get mad and want to just turn on the Frankenstein family at one point during the film, with no build up to it. They just been angry all this time, and
yeah,
tonight's the night of they see the electricity illuminating from the castle, and they have to go. The castle's feels like it's been destroyed. I guess every Frankenstein has their own castle, because it seems like there's been so many castles destroyed. But
I like that they bring back the daughter, though.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because she's been in the last two movies, but she's always played by a different person. And I'll go a step further. Did you know the person that played her in the last movie was the love interest from the Wolfman? What's her name? From the Wolfman.
Oh, you know that? No, I didn't know that.
And then she comes back again later on in this franchise as another character. That's what I'm saying. On top of franchise mania, it's also they have a core group of actors and actresses, incestuous, if you will. Yeah.
But
so that
people
knock that a lot these days.
You're talking about so he finds Frankenstein encased in ice. So I'm not entirely sure.
Good scene, right?
It was very good because
With
it
the snow?
looked like literally real snow, and it looked
The
like
snow
real
looked good.
ice. And
Yeah,
when
it
he
was
was
cool.
breaking it, I'm like, I'm wondering if they actually put a plate of ice there or something like that, because it didn't look like any, like, yeah, okay, again, he wasn't in a block of ice, but it looked like if they did anything as a special effect, it was actual ice that he was breaking
Right.
through there, because it
Looked
broke
good.
off like that too. Yeah, it was cool.
Uh-huh.
No pun intended. Oh,
Ah,
it's one of those shows, everybody.
it has to be.
But then, so like Bella, awakes not so spring fresh, but he's getting by. He's doing well, but I do like the way they bring they bring the doctor in. His doctor has been following him, and I guess that's who he's
Yeah, the
trying to get to
Wolfman's
help
doctor.
him. Yeah,
Larry
the
Talbot,
Wolfman's
I should
doctor,
say.
exactly. Larry
The
Talbot's
Wolfman's
doctor.
brother. Sorry.
So that part is good because they didn't get an actual Dr. Frankenstein. Because I guess they're supposed to be all long dead at this point.
Right.
Or whatever.
And the daughter's
But
around.
the daughter's around, and so it's great because his diary is what makes him sort of turn and say, wait, I've got Dr. Frankenstein's diary. I've got his equipment. I'm in his castle. I can't destroy this thing. I've got to see him at fully operational, like the fucking Death Star. He wants to make sure that he's fully powered. So although he's running the fucking Frankenstein's running across, like, still terrorizing people, he's not fully powered according to this doctor, and he needs to have electricity shot through him so that he's
it's a good idea.
Brought up. I like it, like the way that he sort of turns. I will say there's a lot of buildup of him prepping that equipment and the sound effects and everything going.
Yeah.
It all happens in the last 10 minutes, but it's a fairly quick 10 minutes.
I love that.
But it's crazy once it gets wrapped up, because suddenly the goal was, I guess, and I know I'm all over the place here, but the goal was that Larry Talbot wanted the doctor to reverse engineer the fucking Wolfman out of him.
Yeah. Or just make him so he's dead. He can't die. So if basically they discover that Frankenstein has everlasting life because of the charges, the electricity, the what do you call it, the energy. Well, if someone can live on through energy, then someone can be the opposite could happen if someone's drained of all their energy, and they won't continue on.
So he wanted to die. I thought they're just trying to kill the ability for him to live forever, to kind of excise him of the Wolfman and just turn him into a regular man.
I figured he couldn't be excised of the Wolfman. He just wanted dead is better, and
sometimes,
just like, what's his name?
Sometimes dead is better.
I said the wrong line.
Yeah.
What does he say? Dead is good. We belong dead. I was going back to the old Bride of Frankenstein thing. So he wanted to be dead. It's the same thing now with the Wolfman here. He wants to be dead. That's all there is to it, because he can't. There's nothing he could do.
I want to be dead.
People. Yeah.
A silver bullet in the face would do it.
If they only knew. Although, how did he die in the first one? In the Wolfman.
We watched that just recently too.
Hell. I don't know.
Wasn't he shot dead?
Something.
Yeah.
I can't remember, buddy.
Yeah. I know. Our fucking memories. I thought he was shot dead, turned back to a man, and credits roll. Like in good old fashioned, all these movies.
American Werewolf.
Dam breaks. American Werewolf is funny enough. I thought that was such an abrupt ending. It's literally a traditional monster movie ending, because literally the dam breaks. They get fucking, so the Wolfman wolfs out. So he wakes up, out of his comatose state as Frankenstein is getting charged to full capacity.
Yeah.
And the moon's full again. He wolfs out and he breaks himself out of the gurney, and they end up fighting. The fight's not long.
You know why?
It's a lot of wrestling and getting thrown back and forth. And although Frankenstein's fully operational now, he doesn't seem any more powerful than he was previously.
Well, to be fair, the operation didn't go through. Otherwise, Wolfman would have stayed dead. So it got interrupted somehow.
What we
I forgot
find out,
how
though,
it got interrupted.
what we
But
find out is Wolfman's got nards.
There you go. That's actually good.
That's actually good. Thank you. All the ones leading up to this were piss fucking poor.
No, I don't mean that.
That one was
You
actually
just sound like
good.
you regretted it. You
Yeah.
sounded like you regretted it when it left your mouth. So I was helping. So Frankenstein goes after Frankenstein's daughter,
Oh,
right?
What-
That's
what
why
a-
the fight happens. And the
another
Wolfman-
laugh-inducing scene.
Well,
Yeah,
what do you want?
he grabs her and carries her, like you were talking about, like in these old movies.
Yeah.
She faints. All women do in these movies when they get scared, and they get, I'm not sounding sexist. This is the reality of the situation. It's fucking faint
Good
on
on them.
impact. Like it's faints, and he picks her up to carry her to where, I don't know, to the bed. I don't know where he's taking her, but he's taking her. And Wolfman attacks him, pushes Frankenstein, and she fucking flies out of his arms and rolls down, and they just start fighting. I rewound that. It is so funny. She literally flies out of Frankenstein's arms and like rolls over, like it hits the ground with like a thud, and then they continue to fight.
Wow. I know she takes a nice bump. I know that happens. She does fall. Wow. I got to pay more attention to that. I just was like, there's only so much time left, which I liked about it. I was like, okay, are they going to fight? And then see, this to me, this is how you do it. If you have a versus movie, this is the way you're supposed to do it. Wait till the last 3 minutes, let them do the thing. And I don't understand why people want these epic. I don't know. I just get bored with it. I just think they go. I'd rather it be a quick thing.
But
Boom,
it's
bam,
quick.
bing.
It's a wham bam.
That's
Thank
how
you,
it
man.
should be.
Like it's fast, but it's not bad because what's his face? You know, the bar owner who doesn't seem to care that this dam may wash out his bar is going up to blow the dam to pieces. So one stick of dynamite lights it, dam explodes. Frankenstein's daughter and the doctor escape, and they watch as the water washes down this nice, beautiful miniature, hits the castle, and washes the Wolfman and Frankenstein away.
Yeah.
Like that's the end of them. We don't see what happens other than they got whisked away by the tsunami of the dam. And then all of a sudden they look at each other. I don't know if they kiss, and it's the end of the movie. But that dam didn't do anything. Like I don't know where it was holding the water from other than Frankenstein's castle. As I made the joke earlier, like it seems like there's no other reason to have dammed that up. But
yeah. Never thought about it. I wasn't getting into that, but yeah, you're right.
But there was that line like, oh, he looks like he's asleep, or looks like he's sleeping at the beginning was laugh inducing. That he's been dead for 4 years, but just wakes up spring fresh. Like there's just some things that you just have to accept. But again, if you're watching these old movies, maybe you will and you won't have any issue with them.
Well, I wanted to point out a few quick things about it. When that guy is singing that song, which is awesome, that freaking I wrote it down even.
Stop it!
Farrelly or something like that. Farrelly. It's so happy. I'm watching this movie and I'm totally into it. I go, man, what a time these people are having. This is great. Running around, singing, joking about each other's appearances and playful ways.
You weren't thinking how this is padding the running time of the movie?
I was enjoying it. It was happiness. I was like, man, I want to be at a party like that. Why can't people just sing out like that and have fun? It was great, but they show him a couple of times and he's so miserable. Everybody's got big smiles on their faces, happy as pigs in shit. And then you see Larry Talbot freaking at the time, miserable as freaking can be. And then he finally snaps on a guy.
He snaps on him. The music stops. It's like the record scratch. And the music, everything stops, even though it's all live. And then, like, he just yells at him. It's the funniest tirade.
Mm-hmm.
He just, like, it's embarrassing. He's a grown man.
Yeah, and then everyone just kind of goes off slowly and he turns around. It was so good. But here's something that doesn't make sense. How come the woman wasn't alarmed that he actually had a different last name than what he presented to her when he was paying her to go to the Frankenstein house? Remember, he was negotiating with her and this and that, and he goes, she called himself, whatever he called himself, Mr. Johnson, or whatever he put on an alias. And the guy kept coming around and calling him Larry Talbot. And the woman didn't even care that he gave her a fake name. I go, that's kind of weird. They didn't address that in this.
I thought they did, but maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
She never said a word about him. Like, she doesn't care. That freaking.
I just love how the police detective at the beginning is like, "Oh, Larry Talbot's dead. Your man's an imposter." Oh, that's a very harsh thing to say. It's like, why is that harsh? Like, I just found out he said he was Larry Talbot. I found out that Larry Talbot's dead, been dead for 4 fucking years, and so there can't be this guy. And why is that harsh?
Can't call someone an imposter. Apparently, it's a freaking serious offense. You know. And how about later on, the mayor, who I love, he had the best sensibilities of anyone in town, and then one guy kept challenging him. But then one time the mayor says, because he really did have a good head on his shoulders, the mayor. He wasn't letting anything going crazy happen. He was trying to keep it, let's freaking not panic here, people. And then the one guy's going crazy, and he says, what the hell did he say? I wrote it down. Oh, he goes, don't get excited, my good man. You won't get anywhere by raving. That's what I'm going to say online. If anyone says anything to me online, it's such a polite way to say it.
Yeah.
Don't get excited, my good man. You won't get anywhere by raving, and leave it and not even respond to anything they say after that. That's going to be my new rule.
See if anybody gets a reference too. That'd even be great. I doubt it though.
But it wouldn't be nice if people could just say that nowadays and the other person go, yeah, maybe you're right. And that's the end of it. It doesn't happen. So, yeah, that's how a versus movie should be. That thing went flying when it got pushed off. That's what I was laughing at. He was on top of something. The girl that's what it was. Somebody grabbed something. He was either Frankenstein's monster or Dracula, sorry, or the Wolfman. Somebody grabbed something and they threw it. They just somebody was on top of it. I think Frankenstein grabbed something that the Wolfman was on. Some pillar. I don't know what it was, a platform. And he grabbed it and he just did this, but they must have had it on strings or something because because he did this, it went and it flew off into the freaking air. It was crazy. It was funny. So you were laughing about the girl.
Yeah.
I was laughing.
It's when the lab was being torn apart. Is that when it happened?
Maybe. Yeah. All I know is they were going at it. There was only 3 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And that guy, what was his name? Franzik or something like that. He was the guy that was always challenging the mayor, the drunk guy. Then he was coming doing stuff at the end. Remember?
Yeah. Vaguely. What happened to the gypsy woman again? I think I didn't just watch it. I watched it earlier in the week.
I know she got out at the end. They were talking to her about some other things, and I don't remember.
But I mean, it's fun. You can't take it too seriously, obviously, or your head will explode, possibly implode. But it was a fun movie. I give it a 7 out of 10.
I do too. 7. See, it's exactly what I have. Fucking 7. Awesome. Very good. I'm trying to compare to the other ones in the franchise, and I can't remember all the ratings I gave, but we'll do it at the end.
I still think, funny enough, Son's my least favorite. Still decent, totally well-made movie, just a little bit boring and almost took itself too seriously. But I mean, I guess no fault of it. They're trying to keep it maybe a highbrow series, but I had way more fun with Ghosts of Frankenstein and to a slightly lesser degree, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman.
Yeah, but so far so good.
Yeah,
so far so good.
For sure.
As far as the next one, we shall see.
Yeah. Well, this is the next one, of course. So now, wait, let me just.
Yeah, want to stop this thing?
Yeah, hold on.
I'm gonna run upstairs anyway.
We'll get us out black and white. Hold on. Ooh. There we go. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna run up. I just thought of something that it's untapped in the horror market, and we should do it, and we'll discuss it more later. But have you noticed that you never see any dog or cat collars that are horror themed? I guarantee you, if somebody made that stuff it would sell. Just imagine like freaking Jason's mask or Michael's mask and
Yeah.
going around a thing. You know how horror fans are. And a lot of them are pet owners. They have a lot of dogs and cats. So this is untapped, but we should get rich off it. It just occurred to me last night. So it's another $1 million idea, I think. And then we could even have our faces on them, like the old logo. There's real super fans of the show. You know what I mean? That'd be cool. Huh? Imagine our faces on like a dog's collar or a cat.
Untapped.
Isn't it though? I think it is. Yeah, because I mean they sell everything else on those websites. Get this, get that, a coaster, or this, a pen.
I bet you could Google it. I bet it exists in some form or another.
Yeah, you know what? You'll probably get like one random one. You'll get like a Hellraiser thing, and it'll be like $80.
Hellraiser.
I'm talking about make them affordable. Yeah, like a Hellraiser thing. You know, like it will be like Pinhead, or it'll be the configuration going around, or the chain. Think about how badass that would be. You know, the chain, the black chain, the link. Have that be the freaking. That can be the way it looks. That's the collar, and then have like freaking a little cube on it, a little configuration over here.
Yeah,
and then on this side have Cenobites in between the thing. Oh man,
with the dog's name, Lamont.
Speaking of Lamont, yeah.
You want to jump into this one?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we go. Another round of Hellraiser Hellworld from 2005, just like the last one. Directed once again by Rick Botta.
Bottabag,
as you keep saying. Gamers playing an MMORPG. So I know RPG, but I guess this is like a universe video game style RPGs, I guess, based on the Hellraiser films, find themselves endangered after being invited to a rave, the host of which intends to show them the truth behind the Cenobite mythos. And there's a few familiar faces in this. Of course, Doug Bradley again is Pinhead.
Well, yeah.
But then there's Henry Cavill, who went on to become the Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen, of course. Lance motherfucking Henriksen, as he's well known in the horror circle.
Rightfully.
And then there's Catherine Winnick, which she's had a career. She's gorgeous. I hadn't seen Vikings, but Vikings was a long playing show, and she was a regular on that, and they gave a directed episode. And then there's Christopher Jason or something like that, who plays Jake. He's a Canadian actor as well.
Christopher Jacket, huh? My morning jacket.
I don't think it's Jacket, but I fucked up his last name. But who the fuck cares?
Christopher Jacket.
I will say this.
I didn't jacket to Christopher. Maybe Catherine.
What were your initial thoughts? What are your initial thoughts of this one?
This is the weakest of the franchise, but I don't hate it. But I do not hate it. I think the idea is cool. I don't think it was based on the Hellraiser movies. I thought it was based on the mythos that the movies haven't happened. I could be completely wrong though. But this is a real thing. The configuration was turned into a game and some other stuff and whatnot. And it's just like this heavy interactive computer game that people are into. And the players themselves call themselves Hellraisers, but the game's called Hellworld, and there's all type of mythology. This is just a game, but it's based on real events or supposed real things in the occult world. But it's a game, but people take it seriously. Anyway,
and they don't really reference the films. You're right. They reference Pinhead and or the
Cenobites. They say
the Cenobites, the puzzle box. Yeah, that type of thing.
That's one of the strengths. That's one of the strengths of the movie is this, that at first I thought, first of all, Boda, the people, that Gary Tunnicliffe does the effects. Okay, the effects, the CGI isn't great, but it's the best we've seen since they've been using it in the franchise. The CGI looks better than it has. The practical effects look great. You have gory kills, but And you have the beginning. They're talking about the configuration, Cenobites and Leviathan and Hellraisers in the first 15 minutes of the movie. So you're in this world and it's cool and it's staying true. So you like that about it. But the problem is the ideas are great, but the execution and what they were going for doesn't pan out right.
Oh,
is all I can say.
well, it's
The
also a
look
horrible
of
plot
Pinhead,
twist as well.
a horrible well, I couldn't understand it, I guess.
Well, that,
Yeah, I
yeah, I
didn't
mean,
quite
it makes no
get.
sense. It's almost like it. So the movie, as it's kind of playing out, you're not like saying, okay, at least you know what it is. It feels like a slasher film at first, and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
Pinhead is a slasher because that's how it plays out. And I'm like,
or like a
I'm
Saw movie.
I kind of almost on board with it. I can almost get on board with this. It's fine until tons of weird shit happens. Like the party people all seem to disappear. The like then they explain what's actually happening, and you're like, well, I don't buy this for a fucking second. Put it this way: if you thought like
Well,
almost like if you thought the plot twisted Bad Dreams was bad, which I actually have no problem with, this is going to be a tough pill to swallow because it's just out of nowhere. It's almost like it's a revenge movie, but it just seems so batshit crazy and how they could have pulled it all off. So it all sort of falls apart as it plays out. And as attractive as that main girl is, this was early in her career, I suspect. She looks dumbfounded through the like. Never has one person look so stupid and hot all at once. Like she's like, oh, what's going on here? What's happening? Who's in the back seat? What? But she looks hot the whole time.
that she does. Well, okay, this is where you and I are going to differ. I don't have a problem with the plot twist that you're talking about because and it's right in my notes as the movie's going on. I'll read you my notes. Nice way to, okay, this is believable and nice way to introduce it all. Can you hear me now? Was one of the jokes someone did, which is a timestamp for that time, that commercial. Love the girls and the guys aren't bad. Okay. Nice saw trap. Nice saw trap kill, I said. And that was the one with the things coming. Yeah. It was totally a saw trap thing. All right.
Story too, yeah.
And then fuck that turtleneck on Pinhead. That I hated. The freaking that styrofoam, not styrofoam, but whatever that stuff is that he's wearing at the turtleneck looking thing that comes up
like
by.
A dickie.
It's terrible. It's the worst he looked, like a dickie. And then here, this is it. Okay. Fuck that turtleneck. Hold on Pinhead. Allison and Chelsea, because that's the girls. Chelsea's our lead, and Allison's the other girl who I like too. Okay. Jake tripping out. That's what I write out. So I'm watching this movie, and I'm thinking when I see things going on,
Christopher Jacket.
It occurred to me, maybe Christopher Jacket. Take off your pants and jacket. Maybe one of the possible explanations for this is what I so the fact that the reveal was in essence tripping out, I was already kind of on that. So I guess when the reveal happened, to me, it was like, now this makes sense. And now this makes sense why Pinhead was doing uncharacteristic things of Pinhead, like picking up an axe and chopping somebody's head off.
Well, it was a medical axe or medical,
but still.
But I was like, this is very unpinheaded. And it was also the angle was weird. It's like you sliced here and the head came up, but it was a decapitation. So I was like happy. I was like, why is he picking it up? Oh, but it's a decapitation.
Well,
yeah.
And again, I love when I can something can be explained away. And to me, with the reveal that, okay, this isn't really Pinhead. This is this person's interpretation of what a real life Pinhead would be doing and saying.
But the whole explanation at the end, it felt like they were trying to go for the big Saw reveal that you keep mentioning Saw, and it was like misfire.
Fair.
I'm like, what? Like, you're trying to get me to buy into this? Like, so what had happened is they played this game, and I guess their best friend got killed and during the game. And so we opened with him we open with him. That's like you hear some hacking, and he's got a pickaxe and he's digging into the ground, and he looks up and he starts screaming. And then this gets played out as the movie goes, and then the opening credits go. That we end up at his funeral, and that sort of flashback plays out until we find out he's been burned alive and he set himself on fire or whatever, all because of this game made him do it. But because his best friends and his core group played with them, his father, who has been MIA or supposedly MIA, comes back to exact revenge on them. They had nothing to do with it. They just played the game with them.
Yeah, but it was the same beef that kid had, and they blamed themselves for it. And that's why remember in the beginning, the kid I thought it was his brother at first. It was just more.
I thought it was his brother too, because he was so upset about it, but it was just his friend. Yeah. Funny enough, I thought it was his brother too. Yeah.
But he blamed those guys. And they even said that they blamed themselves, but it's been a couple years and everything else. So they felt guilty about something, and
a couple of years, the funeral just. So that's what I wanted to find out. So where you talk about, so the funeral happens right after the death, obviously. Father's nowhere, South America,
then
South
they
Africa,
don't see
no
each
one
other
knows, as they say. So then you're saying it's been a 2-year gap.
Yeah, they say that
for him. Okay, good. So it gives I wasn't sure what that gap was. I just knew that they weren't playing the game anymore, but I thought it was like a couple of weeks later because this elaborate plan has been hatched, as we find out in the end. That, and I'm like, when did he have time to do all this? But if you're telling me that there was a 2-year gap,
remember?
Okay, I can accept that now.
And then they see the guy at the party because they were making comments about some of them play, some of them don't anymore. They're doing different things. Somebody moved or something, and then they see the kid at the party, and they go, "Hey, what have you been up to?" Like, because they haven't seen him in so long. And he said, "Trying to forget the past." I think that kid, almost in a way, maybe he had the ear of the guy's father, because it's his best friend, and they got together, maybe had some discussions, and the idea got put in his head that these are the guys to blame. I don't know. And I don't.
Here's what we should do. Let's host a Hellworld rave at your house and invite everybody there and slip them some hallucinogens so that they get knocked out, so that we could bury them in shallow graves and make them think that they're being killed by Pinhead.
Yeah.
That's the plot, everybody. By the way, that is what happens. Spoiler.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to see that reveal at the end to see what he thought was happening when he was giving him those things. And it doesn't matter. He's burying them alive.
He jigsaws it out. Like, he tells them verbatim, but then she comes out screaming and he's alive still. And she thought she was trapped in this room and all this shit. Like, the hallucinogens are these things that play out like you're in reality. I guess it's almost like the joke or the thing is that the drug put them into a game like state. So it's playing on that, I guess, is what they're going for. But what's with that ending? So that he actually has a limit configuration. He's playing with the puzzle box in the house. Because he opens it, he actually summons the demons. Pinhead, the Cenobites, they chop him into 3, and then he dies on the ground and then pops up in their car as they're driving away into the sunset. I don't get it. Like, so he's in hell, but then he haunts them one last time in the car.
That's stupid.
It was really stupid. And she has that dumb, like, anybody that watches the movie, that main character looks dumbfounded in like 2 or 3 sequences in the movie. And you're like, boy, is she hot. But what is it, like that putty, like she looks in that, the looking in the back seat, like, huh? Who is that there? What's going on here? Like, I know I said it already, but I needed to be repeated because it's so ridiculous, over the top. Like, I was just like, what? I don't get this capper of an ending. If Pinhead was in the back seat, that would make more sense. Like an Angus Scrim, like, it's never over. One of those things that would make more sense. But Lance motherfucking Henriksen being in the back seat makes no sense at all.
I agree. That was stupid. And the other thing that was stupid, this is the last note. Too bad the window thing and the dude appearing in the car. And then terrible song too. That was at the end, and then the ending credits. But the window thing is the girl, which I don't understand. They reference it that there was that scene when she was at the window and called the cops and they couldn't see her, but the guy
Yeah.
could see her and they could. But then there was a reference made like the reason she escaped from being buried alive and dying like the others had something to do with the version of her that was in the window that somehow helped out.
Yeah.
She looked at her and smiled. I'm like, that made no sense.
But
and
she
then
looks at her, but you don't see her. You see
figure.
some sort of black figure that disappears. And it was
You
like,
assume it's
that
her.
was,
Well,
yeah, well, you assume, of course.
I
but,
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
did
made
too,
no
but it
sense to me.
made no sense. He made no sense.
That and the thing that, but you know, I don't know. It
But
just
it looks good. It's gory and it moves along quick. But
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
falls apart. Like I would have rather it been played straight. In this case, I made the joke where someone gets introduced, you're like, oh, it looks like they introduced this one bad guy, only to reveal that that's Pinhead at the end. In this case, I would have rather Lance Henriksen been revealed as Pinhead at the end. I actually would have welcomed it because it made the most sense in this one. He's hosting Hellworld to bring them back into it, and then almost to collect their souls because they don't play anymore. That would have been a better plot.
I agree.
Sense.
You're right. They're not using puzzles anymore. They're doing this on the game. You're right. But there was a lot of attention spent on everything Hellraiser. It was like a love letter to the Hellraiser movies, to the
It's funny. I actually still like this. I think I like this better than Inferno and Hellseeker. I still think I like it better. Like not as good as Deader, but like it just again I don't know why I do, but I do like it better than those two. Those two were those 5.5 range, and Deader was, what did I say, 6.5? I think I said. So this kind of comes right in the middle of the two, or right in the middle of them. But like it's still like I'm not gonna lie and say like there's some stupid shit going down here, but sometimes if the stupid shit, if there's enough stuff that I like, which were the presentation of it for the most part. I don't like some of his staccato editing and slow-mo. He used it in all three of his movies, and I don't like them at all. I like that at all, but that's a sign of the times. So I'll let that go. This is the best cast of characters, in my opinion. Like from a cast. And if Lance Henriksen can sell, this is a sort of to showcase his acting. Like he has to spout out some of the dumbest dialogue ever, but he could say it and deliver believably because of him. So his stature actually brings another element to it, but they go nowhere with it, and it all falls apart at the end. But I still enjoyed it more than Hellraiser, Hellseeker, and Inferno. But I still have to say it's a stupid movie.
Yeah, to me, it's my least favorite. Like I said, it's the worst of the franchise for me. I don't think it's going to change because the next one, spoiler, I said it on the show before, the one with Fat Pinhead that everybody hates, the movie that everybody hates, was the one that I enjoyed. BTP, yes. So on the way up, when I did this before, I ended up enjoying that one the most. But I'll say this about Hellworld, whatever this movie's called.
Hellworld, you're right.
Way to watch this movie is marathon them all like we're doing, and it's kind of fun to be in that Hellraiser mode of watching one a week or every call. There's something about going through a franchise where it makes things more digestible. To randomly say I'm going to watch Hellworld, pick it up one day and say I want to watch Hellworld, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But like with all these movies, I don't think I'd watch any of these movies after part. I don't know. I watch part 1 and 2 so often that's what has my. But the other ones I'm probably not going to watch, even 3 and 4, whatever.
I watched the first 4 and the remake.
Well, the remake's another story. But like Pinhead, my problem is this. Pinhead, they bring back the sexual stuff in this movie too, which we haven't seen in a while. So I kind of like that too. There's more. It's like I said, it's kind of a love letter in some ways. They tried it. I can see that there's something there, but they didn't pull it off. There's still too many issues. But my big problem is Pinhead himself. he seems like he's going through the motions. It's badly written. He even one of his freaking lines is, "What wonders we have to show you." That's terrible. After you can't come up with something, we have such sights to show you was great when they said
wonders.
That's something I would expect in a Hellraiser knockoff movie that came out 5 years earlier.
We have such wonders to show you.
I mean, I just don't. It's great at the end when they show up at the end. That's true Pinhead, true Cenobite stuff. I dig it. But the other stuff that he did, it's a very uninspiring performance by Doug Bradley.
Which is maybe why he's not back after this.
And there you go. I think that was it. The script for him was so bad, kind of like Christopher Lee wouldn't talk as Dracula for those couple movies because they thought the dialogue was so bad. I guess Doug Bradley doesn't have that power. They need Pinhead to talk. But I think that's the way he felt. And he just it seemed uninspired. But other elements of the movie are so good. Like I said, the CGI and the makeup and the kills and some of the plot until I know the reveal and it gets silly. And then after that, it gets even sillier. But there's good and there's bad in it, ultimately. But I want Pinhead to be better. And it's tough to get over that, you know?
Well, and I agree. And you know what? The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I can't justify that, like how bad it falls apart at the end. It's still, I enjoyed it more than Inferno and Hellseeker, but I think I have to give it the same rating because it's not a good movie. And you're right. I wouldn't just put on like, hey, let's pop on Hellraiser Hellworld today. Why not?
Right.
Like, why not? You're right. The only way to do it is you're like, well, let's blow through this marathon and see what these are all about. And I as of right now, the standout from although I think I rated it the same as 3, I will watch 1, 2, 3, and 4, no question. First and foremost, with that remake, obviously right there with it. And then as of right now, Deader has sort of popped up as the one that I would like the most out of all these other ones. But I'd say this is still 5.5 if I have to put a rating on it. 5.5, tied rating with the other ones, but I would watch it before Inferno and Hellseeker if I had to choose.
Well, there you go. I'm 5.5 as well. So, but that's quite low for me considering everything else in the series. And like I said, I gave everything last year a 3 out of 5, or not 3 years ago when I did it, 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. So they're all around there. But I've noticed that I've enjoyed some a little bit more than I did the last time. But this is the first time I've gone this low. So, but
was there anything?
Terrible.
I didn't mean to like. If there's any more notes you have, shoot them at me. I felt like I didn't have any, and then I was like, I was actually saying for the first half, other than him picking up that instrument that was so not Pinhead and chopping him down, it was like it looked like a medical hatchet or a medical butcher. Oh my God, meat cleaver. That's what it looked like, a medical version. And you could see the angle, like I mentioned earlier. He swings down, doesn't look like he's going to decapitate somebody. It comes straight down and decapitate somebody. But at least the kills are gory. So at least they deliver on that, because usually you get these movies and they don't even deliver on that. So at least they have that. And there's that one CG part where you're talking about where I think something goes through its thumb to get the blood to drip down. And that
it was the box, the nails. That was the only part that looked poor.
Yeah,
of the CGI.
Passable enough.
Passable,
And then Lance Henriksen getting bisected or whatever it is, or trisected.
That was bad. But everyone did that though.
Yeah.
At the time, that was a big thing that they were doing with anyone
Resident
getting cut into 3 pieces or something. Yeah. A couple other movies too, we've seen it. Ghost Ship, right? Yep. There's a couple movies where people get chopped up, and it was just a sign of the times. It's never going to look good, but studios still did it. They still did it. But aside from those two the rest of the CGI looked pretty good. So that's saying something. And the makeup for sure. And the Cenobites themselves looked really good. You know, I thought.
And you've said it, and I've said it. We'll reiterate it. There's something that could have been cool here, but they blew it.
True.
Overall.
But Hellraiser, much like Amityville, not the Amityville stuff we have now, the stuff we did when we did the last Summer Sausage. Those movies, they are not as bad as some of the movies in the Friday the 13th and the Halloween franchise. It's simple as that. I don't care what anybody says. These are better movies. They just are. But that's why I wanted to do this, because people shit on this franchise like it's a turd. And I just don't think it deserves it. And I mean, even though you've given 3 5.5s, okay, I could see you're closer to that end
But
of the spectrum. And I'm
I've never
higher,
been like, holy fuck, like this
right.
is. And I realized which one I thought was found footage is the next one, because I started it, and it starts with found
It
footage.
might be.
No, it started
Okay.
found footage, but that was the setup, and then it went into regular movie. So I'm interested in checking it. I didn't want to watch it too early because I tend to forget these movies, and also because I started to get confused by them. Because you start watching, you're like, well, which one did I watch now? I was about to watch House of Frankenstein, and I was about to watch Hellraiser Revelations. I'm like, if I do that now before we record the show, I'm going to confuse the movies.
Yeah,
And
you
then,
don't want
and
to
be going back and forth. So I stopped after watching that opening segment. And I think that's what threw me off, because I wasn't into found footage at that time. In fact, it was a deterrent for me. Like, if you remember when we started the show, I was kind of anti-found footage for the most part. For the most part, I never know.
A lot of people were.
Would come into play. I'd be like, oh, I liked it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. And if it came on, it was found footage. Usually, it's like, oh shit, as opposed to, let me see what this is all about. Now I've changed my ways, and I owe that to you. I owe it to me because of you.
Being decent things. Yeah, it's cool.
And then whatever, and changed my ways. So I think that was probably why when that came out, I was not a found footage enthusiast at all. So just the fact that it started like that, I was probably like, oh, well. And I think I watched it for about 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, not for me. But I don't know why I gave up on it so quickly, because even by revisiting now, it was not nearly that bad. So I'm actually really excited to check out Revelations next, and House of Frankenstein, because now for sure, no ifs, ands, or buts, never seen House of Frankenstein or House of Dracula before. So these next two Frankenstein movies for me are totally new for me. And both Hellraisers, I think I started, and both Hellraisers, I think I turned off. I'm almost positive. So I'm looking forward to the Hellraiser ones too.
You turned off Judgment, huh?
I'm pretty sure I did.
People,
and I remember you liking that, and JP, I think, liked it as well.
I didn't like it as much. It was fine with it. I liked the other one better. But a lot of people like Judgment. Like, not a lot, but there are, it has more fans than these other sequels do, I'll say. The ones that we've been talking about. For sure.
We'll see.
Right.
Well, not that we'll see it has more fans. It has more fans. It has more fans. We'll see if I'm one of them, I guess is where I'm going with it.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's not been too bad. It's not been too bad.
No. I like I said, I'm having fun because it gives me excuse to watch these again. And I might have to do this with the Halloween movies, because I don't feel like revisiting those ones either. But
I have no desire to see those movies. I just don't. No, everything I've heard about them, that's what I'm saying. I can't. But again,
after part 6, I'm good. Like from 2 to 6, I'm interested in seeing. After part Halloween? 6, well, yeah, I remember.
I'd rather watch Children of the Corn if I had to watch a franchise.
See, I remember like, well, I know I like part 1. I remember thinking part 4 was a decent sort of redo of part 1 in a sense, not the same, but decent enough. And I remember part 6 being okay. People were raving about it when it came out. I think it was just raving about it because how poor 4 and 5 performed overall. But 2 and 3 have always been curious ones for me. I think I watched them maybe once way back when, and I really do owe them a rewatch.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm watching the Children of the Corn franchise. I'm doing it. And I'm going to report each week on what I watch.
There you go.
I've never watched them before. I've never seen any Children of the Corn movie but the first one.
Oh, I saw a couple of them. 2, I think I remember I remember liking 2. I think if I'm not mistaken, Amy Dolenz, isn't it? The one girl from Ticks.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm thinking of, that was Witchboard 2. So maybe she's not in Children of the Corn
Amy
too.
Dolenz isn't in Witchboard too. You're right.
So, but
You're
let me
right.
just,
It
I
is
got to
her.
bring it up now. Children of the
You
Corn
know
2.
what though?
Let me see.
I lied. I saw that Isaac's Return one because I wanted to because Isaac was in it.
No, it wasn't her. It was,
Yeah, I was right. She's from Witchboard too.
yeah, she is
right?
Witchboard
Yeah,
too.
I remember that. I got the VHS right here. It's a nice cover.
Yeah, I liked Witchboard 2 as well back in the day.
And I got a public service announcement before we go. Do not watch free movies on Plex unless you absolutely have to, because it took an hour and 10-minute movie took freaking 2 hours for me to watch because this movie was only on Plex, free on Plex, and I watched it. And it was one of the found footage movies called Basement, and it was only there. I had no other choice. And let me tell you, they were having 120, 180 freaking every like 10 minutes or so. They would put on like 3 minutes of commercials. It was terrible. Nothing at all like Tubi or Vudu, who do it so much better. Even Peacock isn't very good, but Plex is by far the worst. Stay far, far away from it. That's all I'm gonna say. I gotta tell
Okay,
that to
interesting.
people. No, yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was ridiculous. So
Well, if it's the only way to see it, though, what can you do?
yeah, I know. That was the only way to
I
see this
hate
one.
I hate how it's the exact same commercials over and over again. I have no problem with the commercials, but it's like the Domino's pizza commercial, and then whatever, and then and usually they're like that's exact same 2 to 3 commercials every fucking break.
Like Tubi does, but I don't care because I take advantage of the Tubi 1-minute breaks. Every time I run to the bathroom or I go or I get a water, I do something. I get something to eat. I put something. I actually, in a weird way, enjoy watching the movies on Tubi and having those days when I can do it and get up in between.
Well,
Boy, it's going to be tough for me to stop watching found footage and watch Children of the Corn. Boy, oh boy, I don't know if I can. I'm so hooked on found footage right now.
but we know.
Yeah. There's so much more to go. I got a list of a dozen more, and that's only 3 or 4 pages out of like a whole bunch more pages that I've been referencing. So
It's interesting though because like you hear all these movies. Where are they all on Tubi? Like where the hell are they finding their audience?
most are on Tubi. Like 80% of them are. Yeah,
That's
a lot
it.
of them are. It's great. Yeah,
Cool.
they're out there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a lot out there, but it's just anyway. I don't want to go on and on about found footage, but yeah, I'm having fun.
Sounds
So.
good, man. Well, I guess we'll be back with two more links. I gotta keep using that now. 2 more links to summer sausage.
Nice. There you go. I can dig it. It's making me hungry, to be honest with you. I haven't eaten. I feel like making some sausage right
We'll
now.
go do that.
Yeah, I might, but I got just enough time. Okay, well, thanks everyone for listening. We love you. And Manchichi, and enjoy your summer. Be safe. And